and I can't believe he said this. I was like, it's burning in my head. He goes, listen, there's only 3 things that come from Wisconsin.
Beer, cheese,
and big women.
Recorded live from Studio 12A in sunny Phoenix, Arizona. You're listening to the Josh and Friends Podcast.
Thank you for tuning in to the Josh and Friends Podcast. I am your host. My name is Josh. And today, I'd like to welcome you to the 2024 Year in Review. As always, there were some lighthearted moments that included breakdancing in the Olympics, the latest viral sensation of the Hawk Tuah Girl, and some crazier moments that included copious amounts of lube, attempted assassinations, 2 ongoing wars, and one of the biggest political comebacks in modern history. So sit back as we discuss all that was 2024 and help me welcome back to the show the one and only Mr. Lee Olson. Woo! Lee, we did it, man. We did it. Remember you were talking about how this last year, 2024, we might not make it through this year.
Holy shit, I'm so glad that this year is almost over. And it wasn't even a terrible year. It's just we were all not interested in the election, right?
Yeah. And that showed. That showed from the results and the outcome. Yeah, that showed. But Lee, we got to look forward to the new year, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's going to be weird. Like 2025 is going to be a fucking weird year, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't think anybody knows what to expect.
It's going to be wild, man. It's going to be wild. We'll see. Yeah. We'll see. But Lee, what I'm going to do, we always got to start out with the last year's predictions.
Hey, all right. Yeah, and I never remember them. As you know, I never take notes. I never prepare. I just pour some Tito's and fucking bring it. So let's see how I did last year, because I don't remember what the fuck I said.
All right. So the first question that we asked last year, will Biden be impeached in 2024? Your answer was no. And that was correct. He was not impeached. Yeah. The second prediction was, will Trump be convicted in any of his trials next year? Your answer was yes.
2 for 2. Let's quit right now. Let's stop right now. I feel like I had a good run. Like 2 years ago, I nailed almost all of it. Last year, not so much. Yeah. This year, I'm on a good run. I don't know. Should we end this podcast?
You're doing all right.
Thanks for tuning in.
Okay. Which team would be more successful out of all the Seattle sports teams? We should have stopped at the second question, because this is where you didn't do too well.
Yeah.
You said the Kraken, and they actually ended up being one of the worst teams.
They were, terrible.
The Mariners went 85-77. Sounders went 16-9-9. So they're probably the best.
And the Sounders almost made the fucking final again, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so they missed it by like one game. So Sounders but they're always right there. So I should have just said Sounders, but whatever.
Seahawks they're
gonna win the West.
They're fighting for the division lead.
They're gonna win the West, but what happens after that? They're gonna run into anything from the NFC East. Yeah,
and the story is WNBA still going right now? Is this still going?
Is that still actually?
I don't know.
Here's what's I know more about the WNBA than the NBA. So, and neither are really thriving as far as I can tell. I don't know. Maybe people still watch them.
I heard NBA ratings are plummeting this year.
Shocking. Like, I think I sent you guys a fucking thing I ran into. It's like, here's why NBA ratings are down.
It's so bad.
And it was just like 11 shots from like half court.
Yeah, because all they do is take threes.
That's all they do. They don't have
ridiculous.
any technique. They don't have any technique, and they're all fucking 6'8" and lift weights all the time. So like throwing a half court shot up and no big deal, and that's all they do. It's fucking boring. It's boring as shit.
Curry ruined the NBA.
Well, he did, but like also people aren't putting work in practice. That's why the Lions are so fucking good, because Dan Campbell required them to actually practice full speed. Like,
that
kids
guy
are
looks
not
like
practicing.
he could actually play football right now.
He does, and he fucking cares, man. Like, I saw a clip of him, like, telling the guys, is like, look, I promise you I'm not trying to hurt you. Everything I'm doing is so that we can be better at this game. Full speed practices will pay off. Like, he's the only one that understands right now that the way that you win is to fucking practice the way you play. Every other sport is like, nah, our contract says we don't have to practice. And then the dude just fucking throw it up from half court or get injured on the first play or the fourth play and tear their Achilles. Like, anyway, that's a total aside. But NBA, I don't think anybody's practicing or playing that game. I think they're just throwing them up.
Yeah.
But also the Sonics left in like 2008, so I don't give a shit.
All right, Lee, the fourth prediction that we had. Who will be elected president in 2024? I said, will it be Trump, Biden, RFK Jr., or somebody else? And then you said, if they both make it to November, Trump wins. I like that. You're like, I mean, if they both survive.
Look, how close was I on that one? Because Biden didn't make it to the ballot box, and Trump almost made it to the fucking coffin.
Yeah, right? That's pretty wild. And then you added that Biden would, this is crazy. You added that Biden would have an economic problem and he can't talk. And I'm like, wow. I mean, you fucking nailed it. I mean, it's not hard to.
And it's not like I'm a clairvoyant here. My superpower is observation. Anybody who didn't see that, anyway.
So your prediction was a slam dunk. I said that Biden would win due to the young vote and women's rights issues, but people just clearly didn't care about that.
Like, no, they don't care. People don't care about other people. I think that's a mistake that the left makes, is that even they don't care about other people. They only care about people who align with their values, which is impossible because they're fragmenting.
Well, and people they stayed home this year. They didn't want any part of the election. So Lee, listen to this. Overall, 14 million less people voted this year than in 2020.
Right. What happens if you open a fucking sandwich shop and you're like, we have a shit sandwich or a shit sandwich? Come on in. We're open 11 to 5.
It's so bad, dude. We were talking about this too. It was like, these are great choices, man. These are great choices.
But that's the thing, is I completely reject it. In fact, this was a rough year for me and like my family, because I think they thought that I was for Trump because I wasn't voting for Biden. And I'm like, I'm not voting for any of this shit. I'm not doing it. Yeah. And it's weird because people have that tribalism and they're like, if you're not this, you must be this. I just reject it. I just rejected both, and I wrote in my votes, which obviously means nothing in our current system. But I don't know. People, you can change it. You can fucking do something different. Anyway. I
think we talked about this last time too, is Biden like kind of screwed himself or screwed everybody else over because he said that he was going to be the transitional guy.
Right.
And then he's like, I think I'm going to run again.
I know.
Like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Honestly, I think they told him he had to, because they're like, you're the only one because they knew that Kamala Harris wasn't going to beat Trump.
Do you think that the corpse of Biden would have done better than Harris?
Not after people fucking finally had to come to terms with the reality. It wasn't a revelation. It wasn't like this guy just got old right here on this debate.
I mean, you could see those. Did you see? There's been these posts.
I didn't watch any of it.
No. There's been these posts like on any social media site where like they have like Biden over the years talking and shit, and you're like, holy shit.
75 to 80% of those brilliant students at MIT, Mike, they're working on defense projects. They're not working on commercial applications, how to make automobiles better.
Now, that seems to me to be simple fairness. The economic engine of America is the middle class. It's the people listening to this broadcast.
Look, here's the deal.
What does that mean, a bunch of stuff?
Well, it means it's simply inaccurate.
It's Irish.
It is. We Irish call it malarkey. Let people know you're a senator. I'm not going to answer the question.
Why would you answer that
because
question?
The question is
radical left.
Will you shut up, man?
Listen.
Making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the the COVID. With dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
I mean, that's really, really crazy.
How much cognitive decline have you and I had in our fucking late 40s?
I mean, just this year.
Right? Okay, so now add 40 years.
That's wild, man.
Or 35 or however, like he's 80, right?
It's just crazy because then you see, I just saw this clip just recently. I just saw this clip of Dick Van Dyke on, I think it was Kimmel. And Dick Van Dyke, I don't think people realize how old Dick Van Dyke is. He actually said, he goes, I have a son that is 78 years old. He goes,
so
I could be Biden's father.
Old enough to be Joe Biden's father.
And he's fucking quick as shit.
Dude, some people just...
That's fucking crazy, right?
Some people just keep it.
That is so crazy.
I think I will not be one of those,
no.
For the record. I think I'm already declining. I think that this is not going to end well for me. But also, I'm not running for president when I'm 80.
Yeah, and we agreed that our number one goal for 2024 was to not die. So congratulations, buddy.
We did it.
Congratulations.
I mean, hey.
This one's to you, buddy. All right.
Let's drink some alcohol and make it less likely for next year.
Yeah, let's put some poison in our system here.
Perfect.
All right. Lee, biggest accomplishments. What did you have for biggest accomplishments for this year? Anything come to mind?
Boy, actually there is. So like for the last couple of years, because I was gone for 10 years from our company, I came back and I've been back for 2 years now, and I observed a lot. And I sat back in the sidelines. Like I kind of sat back and waited for things to happen. I was like, okay, let me see how things are running. And I don't know, like a month ago or so, this is a really late development. It's not all of 24. But I finally just decided it's time for me to assert myself and kind of be more forward in our company. And I think it's been good for everybody. It's weird when you sort of know, like, who runs my company, and we trust him and he's amazing. But also it's pretty interesting when people finally say, all right, I can do this too. I've been the GM for a couple of years and I haven't really been very assertive. My biggest accomplishment is I finally just said, I'm going to stop asking permission. I'm going to start asking forgiveness. And actually, I don't ask for forgiveness much. I have said to the president of our company, you can sideline me or muzzle me anytime. Otherwise, I'm going to go break shit. And to his credit, he says, go nuts. And our company is better for it. That's my biggest accomplishment is I finally stopped sitting on the sidelines complaining about how things are running. I finally stepped up and just said, fuck it. I'm going to do it.
So you're laying down the law.
I am. No, I'm definitely the guy that is now holding people accountable and saying this thing isn't going to work the way it always worked. I'm going to do it this way. And if you guys don't like it, we're going to talk about it. Hopefully I'm a good manager. Hopefully I'm a good leader. But also I'm done waiting for other people to do it.
Okay.
So that's my biggest accomplishment is finally after 2 years saying I can do this too.
Good. Well, yep. It can't be, it has to be, like, especially like you said, because you guys were both talking about, you and Brian were both talking about how stuff is kind of starting to decline. So it kind of, you have to be kind of more assertive to get things done, right?
And I mean, so certainly it's a changing environment. Like our revenue is down 40%. And we have to get creative, and we're missing a lot of our work by significant portions. We have to figure out how to cut our costs, increase efficiency, get more work, be creative, all those things. And, certain people at certain times just are up for things or they're not. And Brian specifically doesn't have any interest in that. And I don't blame him. He's been running his company for 25 years. He doesn't have interest in rebuilding. And I think he's been asking me to do it for a while, but I kept waiting for him to say, you should do this thing and you should do that thing and you should do this thing and you should do that thing. And he wasn't going to do that because he doesn't know how to delegate. And that's not putting him down. He's a business owner. And so finally I just said, fuck it. And actually it was when he was on a hunting trip and some things fell apart and I just went, fuck it. You do this, you do that, you do this, you do that. Here's how we're going to do things. Let's figure it out. So anyway, that's, I think what is coming for our future is I've always been confident in that work, but I'm confident standing up and saying, all right, I can lead this company into a different place.
It's funny that you say that because it just reminded me of, I was just having this conversation with my brother about how I heard this interview with Sammy Hagar, and Sammy Hagar was saying that when he joined Van Halen back in, 85, whatever it was, he was like, I learned really quickly that Eddie Van Halen's the leader of the band, but he doesn't lead the band.
Yeah.
Like, he goes, I learned real quickly that the leader of the band was David Lee Roth. And that was nope. There was no shits about it. He was definitely the leader. He's like, oh, I guess I got to fucking, I mean, he controls what happens in the band, but I have to step up. I have to be the leader. Like, like I have to take control of like all the shit. Kind of like, you know, I'm the lyric guy. I'm the guy that's like going to be on stage, like singing the songs and stuff like that. So it's kind of like that kind of deal where it's like,
I mean, that's honestly a really great analogy because, you know, Eddie Van Halen's name was on the doors, right? The owner of my company's name is on the doors. It's on my business cards. It's on everything. But almost to a person, everybody since I've stood up and said, we're going to start doing this the way I think is it's supposed to be done, has thanked me. They've all said, thank you for the direction. Because I think most people don't necessarily have a concrete vision of how things should be run. They just know they should be run definitively. And when you lack that sort of thing, and it happens, I think, ebb and flow. I think Brian did a fantastic job of leading his company for a long time. And I think people change their motivations and they change their initiative and they change their involvement. In this spot where we are in our company's history, it was absolutely time for me to just stand up and say, I got it. And so, and I'm actually, and it's changing everything. You know, I mean, like my relationship with Jewel, she sees what I'm doing and she's like, fucking thank you. She goes, I've been watching for years. I've been watching this thing happen and I've been waiting for something to happen. And then all of a sudden you just stood up. And it does feel kind of cool. Like it feels cool because nobody's ever really super confident that like, oh, I'm just going to stand up and do it. Right. Like, or at least people who are humble or, you know, don't have an overly inflated view of themselves. I think everybody's a little hesitant to be like, I'm the dude. I count myself among that. Like, this isn't my company. It's not my name on the doors. But at a certain point you go, you know what? Fuck it. I can do this. And you do it. And that's where we're at now. And so who knows what the future holds. But I actually love it. Like this is where I'm a weirdo. Our revenue is down 40%. Our overhead is 6 times what it was 8 years ago. We got some real fucking challenges and we're missing our bids by 20%. Like we have some real headwinds and I love it. I love all this. I love those challenges. I fucking love it. I love that if we don't get this right by June of 2025, we're out of business. I love that.
All right.
I love it, man. I love that challenge. So anyway, that's my biggest accomplishment.
Yeah.
It's not even pressure. It's not even pressure to me. It's problem solving.
It's challenge.
Like, it's problem solving. It's okay. What do we have ahead of us? Let's fucking figure it out. We're smart people. We'll do it. So that's my biggest accomplishment for 24 was, you know, pretty recently in the last month or so, just saying, fuck it, let's go.
Awesome. Well, mine are kind of like just adding another year onto, I celebrated 6 years of podcasting in February of this year.
That's pretty fucking huge. Most people quit most of their shit within 18 months.
Usually within the first year.
Usually it's the first 3 months that if we're talking about working out, but like new endeavors and shit, if you make it past 6 months, you're doing good. You make it past a year, holy shit. 6 years.
It's pretty crazy, right?
It's nuts, dude. I mean, like 6 years is a big deal. That's almost a doctorate. You almost have your doctorate in podcasting.
I guess, yeah.
Well, I mean, I spent 7 years in college and was politely asked to leave, so I'm not sure how the grading system works, but let's give you a doctorate. Next year, we'll celebrate your doctorate, your PhD of podcasting.
All right, let's do it. All right. And then I applied to do get monetization on YouTube.
Okay. So how does that fucking work? I know nothing about like monetization. How does that work?
You have to have a certain amount of like views and certain amount of like subscribers and stuff like that.
Okay.
And I've had it for a while, but I was just like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't want to like, I don't know. So like you really have to watch like, you know, getting flagged and stuff like that. So, cause you can get like
sued.
Well, not sued. Basically they would just like suspend you or something like that. Or you know, or pause your page kind of like from earning anything. And they don't like ban people like they used to. They just kind of like punish you, which is way better. I mean, like
that's how it should be.
People are, you know, it's like, fuck it. Like what are the, like with the music and stuff like that. I love what they've done to the music now. And I credit TikTok and stuff like that. Like where they're like, oh, instead of like punishing people, we'll just take the song and put it on their page and say,
right,
hey,
give them credit.
You're not going to monetize this because that song's on there, and we're going to put that song on there, but you can still have that song on there. I'm like, oh, that's amazing. All right.
Totally.
Okay.
You give me the choice. Yeah, you give me the choice. Like
exactly.
if I put royalty free music on, I'll get paid. If I put fucking Fleetwood Mac on, they'll get paid. That's fine.
Exactly. So I think they figured that out, and I think that is like just amazing. That's a great deal there. So listen, I'm not making.
So what happened? So what happens with that? So you apply. Like what happens? Like how do things get monetized?
Oh, so like if you get like a certain amount of views on like a video, then you get like more, pennies.
Money. Sure. Pennies, right?
So, It's again, it's nothing like crazy. You're not going to retire from doing this, but
Mr. Beast is a billionaire.
Yeah, well,
he got a little ways to go.
Yeah. He has a little bit better production value than I do.
Yeah, but he did. But that's the crazy thing about this sort of medium and this place in media history. He didn't start that way. He started as a kid making dumb videos.
That's true.
And like 5 or 6 years later, he's a fucking billionaire.
Yeah.
Like this shit can turn. And if the right audience catches the right thing at the right time, away it goes, man. And so I don't know. It is the grind. It is that thing where it's like putting the effort in and just putting it out. That's what I love about your podcast is you've never really changed it. You've never said, let me see what's popular. Like you said, no, I'm going to do this thing. And it's always been, hey, let's talk about the things that we like. Let's do this for the reasons that we want to do it. And that's the authenticity that I think people really dig. And I think people like Mr. Beast, once you get that production value and once you get that shit, like I like a bunch of podcasts that are, big money podcasts now, but like Rogan, I used to watch. Now I don't. Sean Ryan podcast, I like the guests, but now he's super big production. And like, I don't know, like something gets lost when a bunch of fucking production value gets in there. People like the authenticity. And this is the first time in history where truly authentic, independent people can get to the people. And all it takes is like a little exposure, a little thing.
We'll see. Stay tuned. Stay tuned, people.
I mean, this is going to be the breakout episode.
Yeah,
obviously.
There you go. All right, Lee.
Obviously.
So do you have any moments that happened this year that were just like crazy or unbelievable moments for this year that happened to you that you're like, wow, I can't believe that just happened?
I guess the only one that I can think of that was like, holy shit, this is bigger than I thought was that windstorm that we had here a couple weeks ago.
Oh, that was wild.
Our power was out for like a week, which also I'm grateful for. I love it when the power goes out because it reminds us of how fucking great we have it. But totally. we were in our house and we live in a very wooded area and you could fucking hear it. You could hear trees and you could hear shit, and the power went out and Jewel said, I want to go away from here. And I said, well, there isn't really much like places we can go. And she said, I want to go somewhere. And so we called a movie theater and we said, hey, are you guys still power on? And they said, yeah, for now. We said, we're coming down. And I told Jewel, I was like, hey, if we leave this place, we may not get back. And she goes, I don't give a shit. I don't want to be here. Because we have we have a huge cedar tree in the back. Like it's fucking big trees. And so we left and we backed out of our driveway, turned up the hill, and there was a giant tree across the road. And we're like, okay. So we turned around the other way and drove out to get out the other way. And it was over tree branches and dodging shit falling from trees and all that shit the whole way for like another mile down to the other road. And I told her before we got to this one road that kind of borders a lake, this is going to tell the tale. And we turned the corner and it was trees over the fucking roadway. It was power lines down, fucking trees coming down around everything. There was a car ahead of us that sort of like disappeared into the it was fucking sketch.
Jeez.
Super sketch. And these were 70 or 80 mile an hour winds knocking trees down. Like there are a bunch of pictures. I think I sent you guys some from my neighborhood.
Yeah.
Like
you guys got hit really hard.
Yeah. You can almost see our house from like one of those pictures, like all these trees. It looks like a bomb fucking went off and there's like a Tesla somewhere in there. And like it's probably 4 houses up. Dude got his entire shit crushed, like 4 cars, like the whole thing. It was a fucking bomb that went off. And when we turned on that road and the power lines are fucking dangling and fucking trees are coming down and everything, and Jewel just went, she literally put her hands over her ears and went, I want to go home. And I said, okay, we'll go home. And then we sat at home with the power out and fucking you just.
Jeez.
That was pretty nutty, dude. And like, it doesn't bother me for whatever reason. That shit doesn't bother me. I'm like, I mean, if we get hit by a tree, we get hit by a tree. But it was crazy because then we were out of power for the next week. You know, cold weather. Like, it was awesome for sleeping, by the way. If you guys want to sleep well, holy shit, drop your temperature inside to 48 degrees. It's amazing at night. It just sucks for the rest of the time.
Right.
So anyway, that was a pretty nutty thing, dude. That storm was a big deal. That's
awesome. It was
a big deal. And it really was. And it sucked from the east. That's something that I didn't really, you think, oh, storms blow air, right? No, this one sucked air. It sucked air out to the ocean from the east, and we're just in a corridor.
That's wild.
So it was pretty nutty, dude. It was like, it's as close to a hurricane as we can get in the Pacific Northwest. I mean, it was a, what do they call it? A fucking super bomb cyclone or some fucking thing. It seriously was a big deal. It was a big storm. So
that's wild. Well, so for me, this is the first time ever my insurance actually bailed me out of 2 emergencies.
Oh,
not
that's
one,
right. That's
but
right.
2.
That's right. I remember. Yeah.
The first one was a water pipe that burst upstairs and destroyed all the walls down below. And insurance actually covered it completely, aside from the plumber. I don't he just fixed the pipe. But everything else.
Wait, hold on.
I got all the.
Hold on, they cover everything except the professional services of the main fucking person you need?
Yeah, no. So the plumber I had to pay initially because he came in and he had to.
Oh, the diagnosis.
Yeah,
okay. Right.
Yeah. He's the guy that has stopped everything, and I was like, because dude, I couldn't. That was a nightmare, man. I couldn't turn off. So because I'm in an HOA, I had to get permission to turn off the shit for the whole building because I can't stop everybody else's shit.
Right.
So I had to scramble to find the number to call, and I'm like, hey, I have an emergency.
Right.
And they're like, yeah, what is it? And I go,
probably the same emergency line that's like, hey, can you get the guy to stop parking in front of my garage? And they're we'll look into it. Because it's going to ruin the next door neighbor's wall too. Totally.
So it's like, I gotta do something here. They're like, okay. And I was like, I don't think you guys understand this. This
is a fucking deal. I gotta ask though, for all the listeners, how does a pipe burst in Phoenix?
Oh no, it was something in the bathroom that I unscrewed something in it and it just it wouldn't stop and so the downstairs when I tried to turn it off, you know how you have the flip, right?
Turn, right.
Whatever the hell it's called. Anyway, that stripped. And it was like,
okay. Uh-oh. I thought you had a broken pipe, and I'm like, how the fuck does a pipe?
So it wouldn't turn off. So it wouldn't turn off the water.
Right.
So it was just and Lee, we're talking about. I was like, I'm in Phoenix and I'm wasting this much water. This is
right.
I should be in jail. It was just. I mean, it was just blasting. I didn't even sleep that night. I was just listening and going, and I was like. Because I was trying to get plumbers out here, and I was like, "Where's the plumbers?" And they're like, "We can get someone out at 4." And I'm like, "I don't think you guys understand." So I was like, "All right." So I finally just went out and I just turned off the water on the main thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, "All right."
Two things here. One, I'd like to have sympathy for you, but I only learned after I moved into where I live when the neighbor watched me watering my lawn and leaned over and said, "I hope you can afford that." And then I get my fucking water bill that I think even in Phoenix, you guys have it easy for water bills. Holy shit. But also, I don't know, man, having shit like that go wrong and having an insurance company fucking pay for it.
Dude,
I can't believe it.
We're talking thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Thousands.
No,
they replaced all my countertops and shit. And I was like, all right.
Right. Awesome.
Lee. So check out this. 2 years ago, I was pissed about this, by the way. They're like, listen, we can't get anybody to get on board and meet with the meter guys. So what we're going to do is we're just going to combine everybody's water bills together. And I was so pissed. I was like, dude, I don't use water as much
now. Oh my God, you get benefit. You're like, haha, fuck you guys. Everybody's going up $300 and you're like, fuck you.
I was like, Yeah, okay.
Hey,
so this
remember what I voted for?
exactly.
I love it.
So,
fuck that. That's awesome.
Yeah, isn't that hilarious?
Yes.
And then another one here, Lee. I'm turning off the freeway, and I saw him going. So I'm like, so I was like looking, I was like, all right, well, is it good for me to go? And I didn't know he stopped, right? So he like did one of those stops. So I was like, so I tapped his car, and I was like, shit, man. And then I was like, all right, so we pull over to the side, and like I'm filming this whole thing, and I'm like, he's like, I don't see anything. And I was like, I mean, I don't either. He goes, but I go, dude, I felt so bad. I was like, oh man, I feel so shitty. I'm so sorry. And I go, listen, just let's exchange our shit. I go, I'm a totally honest guy.
Right.
Listen, he goes, I'll take it to my guy on Monday, and we'll see what he says and whatever. And of course, you take it to one of those, I'll take it to my shop guy.
Man. Right.
And cause like I kept filming it, and I was like, I don't see, he goes, I don't see anything. He's like, it's almost like not worth whatever.
Right.
So the guy's like, we need to replace the entire back end. And I was like, and we're talking like, I thought it was going to be like just a couple bucks or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
A little fucking, a paint.
And he came back and he was like, it's going to be like $6,000. And I was like, what? And I go, all right, well, I guess it's time to call the insurance. And then the insurance, like, they're like, we'll take it from here. Well, it's like completely covered. And I'm like, wait, what? Like,
holy shit. So insurance acting the way it should act.
Lee, for the first time in my entire life. Because like, and it's funny because Geico, they still owe me like $3,000 for when I got fucking hit. Like, back in like 2000.
Right.
So I'm like, all right, dude, well, all right, I'll take it.
That's crazy. So that particular accident is the only one that I've really ever been in where people start going and then they stop. In fact, I ran into you doing that.
That's true.
and I ran into somebody in high school that way. He started to go.
You were going a little faster than I was. I was barely moving.
Well, yeah, but like you started, and then I looked down and I looked up, and then boom. And luckily, it only buckled my truck. It didn't hurt yours. But and in high school, I did the same thing. A dude at the bottom of the Derringer Hill, he started going, and I'm like, great, he's going now. So I start looking left at the traffic that's coming for me, and then I was like, bonk. And that dude just threw his coffee on my window and drove away.
Oh my God.
But get this. So this is the first time I've been in an accident in a long time. It's interesting you bring this up. Last week, I was driving on I-90 right at 405, and everything's a mess there. It's always a fucking mess. And so I was getting into 405 North, and car in front of me gets cut off, dynamites his brakes. I fucking dynamite mine. I stop in time, right?
Yeah.
And I look in the mirror. I'm like, this is gonna hurt. And a fucking dude in an Audi pushes me into the guy ahead of him. But
wow.
But so we pull over. The dude in the Audi. So first of all, I get out, and I'm not a small dude. And I think he was freaking out. And I get out, and the guy in front, I barely tapped him because I had stopped in time. So he kind of was like, bonk, whatever. He gets out, super nice dude. He's like, hey man, I don't see any problem at all. I was like, hey, whatever you need, if we need to exchange, whatever. Right. And he's like, I don't see anything. You okay? And I was like, yeah. And his like the girl in his car gets out. She goes, I was just kind of scared because that guy cut us off. I'm like, well, if you guys are okay, I'm okay. And then the other guy comes up, and he's kind of like all dazed, and he's like standing in traffic. I had to grab him and pull him out of traffic. I was like, hey, why don't you step out of traffic?
Jesus.
And he's like, oh man, I'm just really sorry I didn't see you. And I was like, dude, it's fine. He dynamited, he hit his brakes, whatever. Nothing. Let's look at my car. We looked at my car, and all it was is you can see the Audi logo kind of punched into my bumper.
Right.
But it's a fucking company car, and it's barely there. It's kind of like it'll wash out.
Yeah.
And I look at his car, and there's nothing. And my car in the front, the license plate kind of got a little bent. But like, dude hit me hard enough to like push me into the next car, and we all just went, you good? You good? I'm good. We're good. Fucking A. And the dude behind me was the most freaked out. And he's like, oh man, I was already on the phone. I'm like, yeah, dude, there's nothing wrong. I'm fine. Everything's fine. And he's like, oh, okay. All right. And there really was nothing wrong with any of the cars. So we just all went our own way. So nobody exchanged shit. And
the best.
It was the best. And honestly, the dude ahead of me, because everybody has the right to be a dick about that, right? Like you get rear-ended. I had the right to be a dick. I had the dude in front of me had a right to be a dick, even though I could have passed it on to the guy behind me. Dude that I hit was fucking all smiles. He's like, "Oh man, you okay? Everybody's okay? All right, yeah, I'm good. Hey, no big deal for me, man." You know, and then the dude comes up to me. I'm like, "Dude, as long as there's no buckled shit in the back of this shitty company car, I'm good." And he's
nobody's
like,
hurt. Yeah.
Oh, and it was so slow. Like, I mean, nobody was going to get hurt. But anyway, so but I never get in wrecks largely because I see stuff coming. But that one, I literally saw that dude coming from behind for whatever reason too. I give myself credit for not tensing up and going, "Oh, this is going to hurt."
Lee,
I literally went,
well, Lee, you remember the greatest avoidance?
Oh yeah. That old lady that pulled out in front of us on fucking East Hill. She came out. We're almost, I know you're thinking of the same one. The old lady that pulled out in front of us, the left lane was occupied. We were in the right lane and that lady started to pull out and I was like, this is going to suck. And I looked right at her and she looked right at me.
I'm mixing it up with the hubcap or the tire.
Oh yeah. My brakes fell off. Yeah. That was on, that was almost Auburn. Yeah. That was almost Auburn way. Almost Auburn. That was like,
didn't it roll into the BP or something?
People were running it over. Yeah. My brakes fell off, and then I drove it all the way to fucking South Center, and the lady is like, "This is the worst thing I've ever seen." And I was like, "Can I?" And I asked her, I was like, "Can I have those rotors?" And she's like, "What?" I go, "I don't know. It's kind of cool, right?" And she's like, "That's not cool. You ground all the way through them, and because I ground my fucking pads off, so they fell off."
Do you still have them?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay. All right.
But anyway, yeah, car wrecks sounds like we were both lucky with car wrecks, so that's good.
Lee, do you have any projects or anything like that you? Well, I think you did have a project that you did in your backyard.
I did, yeah, that was pretty cool. So, kind of more the asking forgiveness and not permission. I mean, we rent, and I don't know. Once we got kind of the green light, because they were originally going to sell this house, but through the wonder of taxation, they can't sell this house without getting hit with a massive bill. So we get to stay. And we get to stay for a while, like as long as it makes financial sense for the owner.
Wow.
And, you know, in my job, the job that you did for a long time, there is a benefit. You learn how to do some pretty cool shit. And we have to keep materials for years sometimes for warranty. And so I just asked if I could have a bunch of warranty shit. And if that stuff is needed for the warranty, I have to pull it out of my backyard. But no, I did it's probably a $20,000 install in our backyard and hung some lights. And I did spend a bit of money sort of dressing up the backyard with like landscaping. You know, I paid a landscaper to come in, which I could have had the landlord do, but I'm not picking that fight, dude. We have a great situation. So we built a good backyard, an awesome backyard that we spent a lot of time in. It's awesome back there. So the fence did blow down in the windstorm, but the dude's coming to fix it on Tuesday. So.
Oh man, it looked good. It looked good.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
It's the first time I've gotten to use kind of the skills I learned as a paver. Dude.
It's kind of like when a couple of years ago now.
That your turf
backyard.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Because it's kind of like a same kind of.
Oh, it's exactly the same. No,
you know what I mean?
In fact, we're doing turf now because it's exactly the same. Yeah,
oh, really?
Yeah.
It's essentially the same, right? Like
it is just base and then just the top material.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And just nail it down, just like
and it does feel really good to enjoy the shit that you do, right? Like the knowledge that you have, and like you're like, because
I'm like, wow, I can actually do this, and like not worry about it.
Dude, that is a weird thing too, because like I think we all are sort of like we have that little bit of doubt, or maybe that's just us as Auburn kids. Like we're like, yeah, sure, I've been doing this for a decade, but do I really know how to do it?
Yeah.
And then I fucking got it, and I just started laying shit, and I'm like, not only is it good. This is as good as any fucking multi-million-dollar mansion that we've done.
Right.
Like it's really good. It's fucking really good. Yeah. And everybody who looks at it goes, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, cause it's really good. Cause guess what? I'm a fucking professional at this.
Yeah,
like I learned it. So did you. Like I've been doing this for 2 decades. Of course I'm good at it. But it's weird. It's weird how you don't know that. Like you don't know that you're good at something. You're like, I don't know. And then you fucking knock it out and you're like, never mind. Like I got it. Yeah, I got it.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's good though. It's a good backyard. I like our backyard. I like our situation. I hope it lasts for a long time because the situation is good economically and sort of geographically.
Yeah. No, it's sharp, dude. I liked it.
Thank you.
And I liked how you dressed it up with the lights and everything too. It's cool. Really cool.
Thank you.
So yeah, my project's a little different. little different this year. Of course, I always these last year was did the rock tour thing, or was that 2 years? I don't even remember. Anyway, I did the sequel this year of the rock tour, the Seattle rock tour.
Yep.
Which I need to stop doing these because they take forever to do. And
well, hold on, but do you enjoy them?
I mean, I enjoyed after the final product. Maybe it's like oh, it's so much. I don't. It's tough because it's so much work that I don't think people realize how many hours you put into it. You know what I mean? Like where it's like, I mean,
but that's what I'm. But that's what I'm
time doing it, and then it's like, and then you get like 100 people that watch it. You're like, oh fuck, man, that's painful, man.
So that's the question though: is do you enjoy it or do you do it for the views? Because like either are valid.
I wouldn't be doing this podcast still if I did it for just the views.
But that's what I'm saying is, dude. Like as a person who doesn't have hobbies and who I talked about this with my friend today. Like, I have to live vicariously through other people's shit because I don't have that. I don't get to go home and go, let's turn the fucking model trains on. Let's do this hobby thing. I have nothing. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing or I have a bad life. I'm just saying people who do, like, you get done with work and you're like, I got to edit.
Yeah.
That's pretty rad. Or, hey, I have an idea for a new episode. That's pretty rad. So, like, but if you're like, I hate every minute of this.
No, I definitely don't.
Unless I get 1,000 fucking views. Then I'll say it's fucking awesome and you should just keep fucking enjoying it.
No, and then I, the other one that I did was like kind of like, all right, well, if we're going to be in, down in Southern Washington, let's just go to Oregon. And then I just did the Astoria movie tour. Like,
dude, that one was so rad though. I mean,
you know what I mean? So like,
Goonies House and the what was the robot movie?
Oh, Short Circuit. Yeah.
Thank you, Short Circuit House. And then you fucking went in that house and I don't know, dude.
Dude, the guy came out. He's like, hey, man. And I was like, hey. I was like, uh-oh, is he gonna yell at me?
But dude, that's the thing is like you do it, Jewel does it. Some people are really good at like just sort of getting into shit. Like, hey, let's fucking ask this person about something. Like, and then you end up in some really weird, awesome shit that, like, for me, first of all, I would have never left the house. Second, I wouldn't have talked to the dude. And if he did come out, I'd go, I'm good. See ya. Like, instead, you guys end up in some cool shit because you fucking go your adventure. I don't know. I dig it. I love that I have friends like you and her and whatever. Because think about how boring my life would be without you guys. I wouldn't know anybody and I wouldn't do anything. I wouldn't even have this job. So anyway.
I wouldn't have this job. That's funny that you just said you like right before this, you're like, I've been doing this for 20 years. And I'm like, 20? I was like, 23. Oh, shit.
23.
Oh, my God. Oh.
I have now worked for this company as long as I work for the Mariners.
That's crazy because I was like, oh, shit. The Avril Lavigne album just came out when I took you to that fucking job.
2001.
Fucking
2002, I think, was my official first starting date, but yeah.
Oh, wow.
2001 is when
That is crazy, man.
Yeah, so I guess this means I'm due for another career.
Or
I make it 23 years and then
or
I'm
some
done.
sort of big bonus. Are you getting a big bonus this year? Giant bonus?
Look, for what I do, I get paid well. I have no complaints, but also, dude, no. Like our the real money is in owning a company because you take the risk and you get rewarded. And I'm super proud of the president of our company for doing that. I get a very livable wage and I have no complaints. I still want to punch every teacher that I know in Washington right in the fucking face because they do nothing and earn a better living. But I have no complaints for myself.
Lee, did you attend any good sporting events or any other shows worth mentioning this year? Or like any kind of like, oh, there you go.
So I have, this is the cup that I get. You get the souvenir cup every time you go to the Mariners and pay $12 or whatever the fuck it is for a soda.
Oh my God.
And we went to 34 games this year. So 34 is the most games I've ever been to in a year. I have aspirations to one day go to all 81
34 games you went to?
34 games.
Year? Wow.
We have
I think that's more than any.
It is.
I think that's more games than I've ever been to.
Yeah, dude, we're getting serious about baseball and we have pretty good seats and I'm really glad I invested in them. We got a 20 game pack, but then with the 20 game pack, you get to sort of mix around, right? Like you can trade games you can't go to. You can trade them for different seats, whatever. You trade them for your value. So like we have pretty good seats for our regular games. And then if we can't go, we'll trade him for upstairs or outfield or wherever. And so we ended up, and then occasionally we had more, we like my cousins came into town. We went to a game with them. We sort of add in a few games here and there, but yeah, we added it up, and I think we went to 34 games last year. So that's 34 wild. Of 81 home games.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And it's fun. I mean, like the closest thing I have to like a hobby is baseball.
Yeah, definitely.
I do hope that, it's interesting. The guy that is now the president of the Mariners is a guy that I've known for 30 years, a really long time, since 1990. And he's a good dude, Kevin Martinez. He's really good. And he actually ran the Mariners sort of TV operation, First Ave Productions or whatever the fuck it was. I am actually going to bug him. I'm going to bug him because I have the luck to be able to email these guys about dumb shit, and they can't exactly write me off. They don't have to pay attention to me, but they usually are courteous enough to be like, hey, all right, maybe. The baseball as a hobby, I think, is a really good thing for me, and I really enjoy watching the game and learning from it. I'm hopeful that these guys will start doing broadcasts that actually teach people about the game so that they don't have to wait for a fucking home run, and they don't want a pitch clock because they know that the game is being played in between those pitches.
You should be a scout, Lee.
No, I don't know how to scout talent. What I know is and actually I'm not even an expert at baseball. I just know that like when I go there, I annoy the shit out of Jewel because I'll say, watch the catcher's back leg. If he tips it out, he's going to throw to first. Hey, in this situation, this guy's going to try to go opposite field. Hey, in this situation, these guys are going to move to there. And because I understand enough about the game, and I'm no expert, but like if you understand enough about the game, and I'll say this is the Madden effect. In football, nobody really gave a shit about what happened outside of the quarterback and then whoever he threw to or handed to until John Madden started circling shit on the thing and said, see this linebacker here, he's going to want to shoot this gap, and this guy is here going to do this and that, and he taught people about football.
Sure.
He taught them what else to watch.
He was like a father figure for
Joes at home. But he taught us that we don't just have to watch the ball. And that's invaluable for building fans because the game is going on all around the field. It is not just around the ball. In fact, the vast majority of it happens away from the ball. Baseball is the same way. You can start looking at things and you understand what might happen, what should happen, how things move, angles change, pitches change. All those things change if you understand the game. And baseball has done a really terrible job the last 20 or 30 years of teaching people the game.
Yeah.
So anyway, as it relates to a hobby, I hope that I can have some sort of influence. I doubt I will. I'm fucking way, way out. But
Lee, the NFL is still kind of searching for that John Madden kind of figure because he's like one of those guys that everybody loved.
Yeah,
everybody.
Yeah,
everybody.
Well, that's the thing is, he talked to us the way we wanted to be talked to.
Yeah,
he wasn't.
I will never forget, Lee. I will still never forget when he said, I hope I'm getting the quote right, but it doesn't matter if I do because if I get close enough, it sounds just like John Madden. But He goes, and it was just like a random, he's just talking. He's like, he goes, listen, there's only I can't believe he said this. I was like, it's burned into my head. He goes, listen, there's only 3 things that come from Wisconsin:
beer, cheese,
and big women. I was like, shut the fuck up. He did not really say that. And I was like, it's not, I didn't have like TiVo back then. And I was like, right. Did he just say that? He just said that. Right. And it was just like, it's just John Madden. It's like, that's fucking John Madden.
Dude, this is what I think big media misses. And it sucks because the bigger it gets, the more corporate it gets, and the more they run it through focus groups and shit. This is what we talk about with Adam Carolla. Adam Carolla was really appealing when he was one of us, when he was a construction dude. And then he started running things through the filter of a Lamborghini collector and talking about his fucking races on the weekend, and he lost us.
And he had 7 projects going at once, and it's like, oh, man.
Movie and a fucking thing, and I don't blame him. That's great. No. It's great. But and maybe that's the inevitability of it. Except John Madden actually managed to live in that space the entire time. He never rode on a jet. He just talked about this the way he enjoyed doing it.
They turned his transportation into part of the event.
Exactly.
He's like, right. I don't fly. I don't fly. I take my bus everywhere.
If sports gets that right, they will be rewarded. And baseball right now is fucking everything up on a monumental level. They're talking about having a fucking golden at bat where the team gets to choose their best hitter for a golden at bat per game. This is so fucking catastrophic for baseball. The pitch clock is terrible. The idea
Wait, do they still do that?
Oh yes, of course.
They do?
Yes,
okay.
Yeah, and they call it a success because more people are watching because the games are down to 2 hours and 34 minutes. They could have done that with fucking hitting people and not getting like the game self-regulated when umpires were allowed to say, if you don't hurry the fuck up, you're not getting a strike called. And when batters took too long, pitchers would bean them. It was a self-regulating system that we stopped allowing to happen, and now it's fucking weirdly bureaucratic and fucked up. But if they teach people baseball and if they allow this thing to be real and if they stop blacking out local fucking games, people will, and if they invest,
the worst thing about baseball.
The NFL learned that lesson and baseball is somehow fucking repeating
it. NFL's doing it too, though. The NFL is like, they're putting it on, like, there's like, I think there's like, how many different channels do you have to...
Yeah, it's fucking whatever your local one is. So
they're slowly starting to fuck shit up too.
But they went through that. And I think that goes through the cycle. I think this is the private equity, like, hey, we're going to squeeze the profit out. And then when profit starts getting done, you're like, oh shit, we have to reinvest. Like, that's the nature of economics. And right now, baseball is squeezing the profit out. And they're realizing...
But the NFL's still got that edge of, they only have so many games.
Right? It's 1/10 the game.
That's why it's so massive. Nobody can compete.
Nope. There are 17 regular season football games. There are 162 regular season baseball games. But that's the thing is baseball shouldn't be leaning into the importance of every game the way football is. They should be leaning into the fact that it is that slow burn. That's what baseball fans love. But whatever. I don't know. For me, I'm the problem because I keep bitching about, John Stanton not spending his money. And there are some things that show how much money a team earns compared to how much money they pay out. The Mariners are fucking abysmal in that because they're just making $300 million a year and they're not spending it. But if I were a business owner, maybe I'd do the same. I don't know.
All right, Lee, let's move on to some pop culture moments of 2024.
Okay.
So the biggest viral sensation of this year. Do you know who that is?
Oh, man.
It's pretty clear.
Is it pretty clear? Taylor Swift? Kelsey? I don't know.
The Hawk Tuah Girl.
Oh, fuck yeah.
What's one move in bed that makes a man go crazy every time?
You gotta give him that Hawk Tuah and spit on that thing. You get me?
Dude, she's fucking awesome, right? I mean, she's cute. She's funny. She's like, I hope she actually ends up with a really good career. That was a super honest, drunken moment. I dig that girl. I think she's hilarious.
Yeah, so she became...
And I'd like someone to spit... Anyway.
Just some random guy interviewed her in the middle of the street, drunk. And remember girls when this first happened, they were like, I don't understand. That's so gross. Like, what? This is not... Why do guys like her? And it's like, she's funny. Like, she's...
Yes, she's funny she's honest. And she's cute. Yeah. She's not smoking hot. Right. She's not full of herself.
Her friend was hotter than her. But
exactly. But she is funny, and like we would all want to hang out with that girl.
Right.
And all hang out with that girl.
And as a result,
she's a multi-millionaire.
Her podcast became the third-ranked podcast behind Joe Rogan and Tucker Carlson.
Good, because she seems funny.
She was selling hats, shirts, bumper stickers. People were covering their cars with that shit. Her paid appearances were going for anywhere between $25,000 to $30,000 for special events. And just within a few short months, became a multimillionaire.
I think it's weird, but honestly, I prefer that to the curated, here are the people that have made it through the gatekeepers for who we think you'll like system that we've been in until this meritocracy that is, we're going to put this out, and if people like it, they're going to fucking like it. That girl is likable.
Right.
She's completely likable, and I hope she makes her money, and I hope the world doesn't swallow her up.
She did get in trouble a couple of weeks ago with, there was someone created some stupid coin, Like I don't know,
like
I don't
a
know
crypto,
anything about these
like
Bitcoin
a crypto
things.
okay, like a crypto coin. Okay.
Yeah, and then all these people invested in it, and then she sold it off. And then people are like, she should fucking go to jail. She fucking deserves to go to jail.
I mean, again though, like, are we holding her to some fucking standard that we're not holding Congress
she was
people
the mastermind?
to?
She's the one.
Well, also, are we holding her to a fucking different standard than elected fucking Congress people? Because they buy and sell shit knowing what they're going to vote on tomorrow.
Well, dude.
There's that guy that follows just the Congress people's sock picks, and it wins more than it loses because they're always like, I think Boeing's going to drop. And then the next day they're like, investigation into Boeing. It's like, well, what do you fucking know? So,
I know.
So no, hey, look, but Hawk Tuah Girl, super likable. I hope the world doesn't swallow her up. She seems like a sweet girl. Also, as Adam Carolla said, even if you're not into the thing, like the Hawk, which I think I probably would be, but also I like where your head's at.
There you go. There you go. And what does Adam Carolla claim? He goes, listen, I'm not good at a lot of stuff, but what I can tell you is no one is better than receiving
at receiving. Yes,
than me.
Exactly.
Like, I can respect that.
I can respect that too. Yep.
All right, Lee. Another big thing that happened this year was there's a hypothetical question that was posed to women online. And that question was, man or bear? Do you remember this?
I don't keep up with most
what
of this.
This is so they would ask random women, if you were in the middle of the woods, miles away from anybody, would you rather be confronted by a random man in the forest or a random bear?
Oh, I know. I guarantee I know what this answer is, and I guarantee that this is a disconnect from reality. So, okay.
Would you rather be stuck in a forest with a man or a bear?
Bear. Man is scary.
With a bear.
Well, I've heard about bears. They don't always attack you, right? Unless you like fuck with them. So maybe a bear.
Depends what man, but probably a bear.
Oh, 100% a bear, which is like terrifying to say, but
definitely a bear. Some men are very scary out there.
A bear.
I would say a man.
But that's logical because they have a ton of experiences with fucking bad men.
Yeah.
And they've never seen a real bear.
Right. Like,
so they all say a bear. Of course.
And of course all the guys are like, what the fuck? Are you fucking kidding? Like,
well, because look, hold on. As a friend of women, and as like I consider myself fucking, I hate the word ally as it's turned into that. I respect women in their experience. Dudes treat women like shit a lot in the world, and most of their negative experiences come from men, whether it's warranted or a misinterpretation or whatever. I'm not getting into that. I think we're just being ourselves, and I think it's a misinterpretation most of the time. But that said, most of their bad experiences are due to men. They have zero bad interactions with bears. So of course their answer is bears look cute on film.
They do look cute. And then you see there's like lots of bears that are like in movies and commercials and cartoons. I mean, bears are fantastic looking, but in the middle of a forest, holy shit.
Well, but also that's a group of people who have never been put in sort of existential danger.
Yeah, most people are not.
I mean, except with men. Like women are like, I'll give it to women. They have to be on alert that in a way that we don't.
That's true.
100%. They are looked at like a meal everywhere they go. They have to be on alert. I get it. I'm not saying that they're wrong. I'm just saying bears are more dangerous than us.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'd rather fight a human than a bear.
Holy shit! Yeah, you could beat a dude. Like your chances of beating a dude are pretty good. Like they're pretty. Like you could get someone else to intervene. You can kick him in the nuts. You got a good shot against a man. Against a bear. Nope.
All right, Lee. So you're into fashion, right?
Totally.
You're a big fashion. Oh, clutch.
Dude, Ethan
shirt.
Yeah, Ethan gave me this.
Nice.
Yeah, because it doesn't fit him because he's too long, and I'm fat enough to wear
it. Well, anyway, Lee.
Fashion, yes. High fashion right here.
New styles that became popular in 2024. First off, haircuts. The haircuts.
The alpaca? Are you going to bring up the alpaca? Dude,
alpaca!
I don't care what anyone tells me in this world. Every kid now looks like an alpaca. Every kid in high school, 17 years old to 28, looks like this. You haven't seen that guy just hanging out on the street on a skateboard?
Dude, I brought that up to Jewel. She cannot get enough of it because everywhere we go, she's like, "Oh my God, there's another alpaca." She didn't know about it until I told her.
Great. I love it.
It's everywhere. It's the alpaca cut.
I fucking love the alpaca.
Me too. And this is almost early 90s, right? The fucking pull the hair up, shave the back, floppy down, except now they're perming it.
Right, right.
If the 90s had permed the top, we're at alpaca.
Right. That is so funny, man.
This is Matt Damon, Good Will Hunting, permed. It is. Watch that movie. It's a great movie. Watch the haircut. If you perm that's an alpaca.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good stuff right there. Also, I guess leopard print and baggy jeans made comebacks.
I mean, I'm not a big fan of the
out there
Yeah, look, I mean, I think we lived through a really good period in women's fashion of the low-cut jeans and the super slutty look.
I did see though that a lot of girls are starting to wear like their midriffs are coming back.
Oh yeah, but except it's with the high fucking
That's true.
jeans.
But
so
at least
it's
it's coming back like the
sort of, but it's like is it fucking midriff?
No,
if it's above the belly and below the boob.
I've seen so many videos now of girls who are like, I found these at like a thrift store, and like it's like the low cut jeans, and they're like, "Ooh, this makes me look really good." And she's like, "What do you guys think?" And I'm like, "Yeah, no shit. Every fucking guy's been screaming at you for like the last 10 years. Bringing that shit back."
But they don't look. I mean, we've talked about this. Women do not dress for us at all. Ever. They never have. They never will. They dress to compete with each other.
Yeah.
They do not give two shits about what we think.
And it's not. It can't be as comfortable.
Care.
You sit down and your just ass like hangs out.
No,
like, you know,
they compete with each other, and that's it.
All right. So now for the fashions that are out of style. Okay, there's actually just one. Gen Z has officially canceled ankle socks.
Gen Z has officially canceled ankle socks. Quote, they're for old people. Tell us why. Tell us why.
Just cause. They're just like shorter. It's not cute. Like, it's not the vibe.
Do you partake in wearing ankle socks?
I do. First of all, I wear flip flops so often that my guys at work have me saved in their phone as flip flops, and I consider that a life well lived. If you can go to work every day in flip flops, you're doing all right.
Man, that sounds amazing.
It does, and I wear flip flops 90% of the time.
Wow.
When I wear actual fucking shoes, I have spent my time in work boots. I don't even know where my work boots are now. I've got so many pairs, and I don't even know where they are. That's awesome.
This guy living the life over here.
Man, look, you spend enough time in work boots and fucking humping shit around and whatever. I don't know. So to answer your question, yeah, I do ankle socks for my workout socks.
Well,
and
they say
I wear smart wool ankle socks.
Lee, Gen Z, they say that ankle socks are for old people. So
yeah, they are because we're smarter and we work harder. Gen Z is a bunch of fucking pussies who don't know how to work, and they don't understand fucking function over form. They only understand form over function. So
Lee, they say
if
that
they actually got to work, they'd put fucking socks on that work.
It's only acceptable to wear shorter than the ankle or higher than the ankle, just not at the ankle.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, so mine are no show, or maybe they're not ankle socks. I don't know. They're the lowest ones. They just fit right over the fucking. Maybe I don't know the nomenclature.
All right. Okay.
But also, fuck Gen Z, fuck millennials. They're all pussies. Which brings up the Tyson.
Really hostile right now,
dude. Which brings up the Tyson fight. I think I summed up the Tyson fight from everybody who is watching, which is, you guys don't understand what this fight is about. This is everyone over the age of 40 just wanting to see one of us punch a fucking stupid millennial in a stupid fucking mouth.
Yeah.
We did not care who won.
I fucking called that fight, man. I called that fight. Everyone was like, no, fucking Tyson's good. I'm like, he's not going to win. It's like,
no, he's 60. He's 60.
There's a lot of factors on the outcome of that fight.
And it was fixed and whatever. But like, for us, like, for those of us that have to deal with these dipshit fucking young people who can't work and don't know how to work, don't know how to fucking be tough. And we're not tough compared to our parents' generation.
No.
But holy shit, this group of people, they're fucking turds, man. They don't know how to work. All I want to do is see Mike Tyson get one fucking, just shut the fucking stupid punk's mouth. Just
and that guy's
punch
such
him
a
in the
douche,
fucking mouth.
right? He was so douchey.
I wanted him to walk out and go, I'm not going to be there on Monday. And you go, why? And he goes, because it's my birthday week. And then just watch Tyson go and fucking punch him because what's a fucking birthday week? It's not a fucking thing.
It was such a terrible event. Like, it was so bad on every level.
Except, no, not on every level. The women are fucking fighting better than the men.
Yeah. That was I got to say, that was pretty terrible to watch, too. That was pretty horrific.
But at almost every level, women are competing better than men now.
You're right. You're right.
They are, because they're hungry and they want it and they want to prove what they're fucking doing.
You are absolutely right.
I will watch WNBA over NBA. I will watch women's fighting over men's fighting. They are fucking hustling. I will watch women fucking doing CrossFit over men. Men have fucking coasted. They're done. They're like, I got it. I got it, bro. Women are like, fuck you, pay attention.
Defense be damned!
Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness.
Well, Lee, you know how I know that we're doing all right? Because internet model Sophie Rain. Have you heard about her? Sophie Rain.
And hold on. In 2024, my actual thought is this a lady or a dude?
It's a real female. So, internet model Sophie Rain announced that she made over $43 million just this year on OnlyFans. And she did it without posting any porn and is a virgin. One of her followers, named Charlie, was her top spender, providing nearly $5 million of those dollars just by himself. Now, I know you're going to have some comments about this, but wait, Lee, just to put this in perspective, the average salary for an NFL player, do you know what that is?
It's probably $2 million.
3.2 million. Do you know what the average salary for the MLB is?
Higher, probably
$5 million. All
right.
And the average salary for an NBA player, do you know what that is?
Higher, because there are only 5 guys on, or 10 guys on a team, so I would guess it's 8.
$12 million.
12. All right.
So, Lee, she made over double what the average is of all those sports combined just in this 1 year.
And never posted porn. I said this today in my conversation with my friend. I don't want people who don't have the emotional wallet to handle shit like that to be engaging in it, right? Because I think it does have a cost. That said, if I had a daughter, I have the luxury of saying this without having a daughter. Right? If you have the opportunity to do a job that sets you up for life in a couple years, like really sets you up for life, not like I'm vested in my fucking 401k, like $20 million, and the social environment will not punish you for it.
And they don't.
And they don't. We're past that.
No, she's praised.
Sex work is mainstream now, but also it doesn't sound like she even did sex work. She did tease work, which should tell people something about what men are actually into. Porn is everywhere. Some dude paid $5 million to not see some pussy.
Right.
But I don't know that I would tell my daughter, again, I have the luxury of not having one. I don't know that I would tell her to stay away from it. Because if you and I, or any man, for the record, if any dude had the opportunity to do this instead of dig ditches, we'd have been there 20 years ago.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We don't have that option. If you have the option to make...
That's the superpower that women have.
It is. And you know, the interesting thing is they've always had it. They just couldn't monetize it in a meritocracy where they could get access broadly.
Yeah.
Now they can get access without a gatekeeper, without somebody taking a cut. I mean, people take a cut, the whatever medium they're broadcasting on, but it still leaves enough for them. Like OnlyFans, holy fuck, I'd like to know who owns OnlyFans and what island they own. Those guys are making half that money.
Lee, did you know? So check this out. This Sophie Rain.
I've never heard of her. I'll have to look her up.
Well, she just became a sensation. So she basically just, I think she was on a podcast and she showed like the person that was like having her on.
Yeah.
Like the numbers on her phone, right? And the guy's like basically flipped his shit. He's like, what the fuck? And she makes more than the top real models in the entire world right now.
Oh, of course. No, people
like,
look
in the entire world.
This is if Cindy Crawford in 1994 had said, I'm going to send you a special fucking set of pictures of me in a bikini or touching myself in a way, whatever, would you or I have paid $20 a month to see that? Fuck yes, we would have. And then every person in high school, college, every dude, think about how many, like $20 a month. And that's the thing is it's the broadcasting medium. It's not send me $1,000 or go to a strip club and give me $1,000. It's $10 a month.
Right.
But $10 a month times 200 million people.
Isn't that crazy? It's wild, right?
And look, you and I would pay. I've avoided ever paying for porn or whatever because it's just whatever. But like, if I was 20 and Cindy Crawford or fucking Elle McPherson had said, "Do you want special content where I'm going to fuck myself on camera?" Are you shitting me? Like me and my friend Brad Ludwig almost got kidnapped by a fucking serial killer dude because we went to the porn shop looking for Cindy Crawford naked, and he's like, I have that at my house. He said that. Some dude tried to kidnap us, and we're like, I don't think that's true. We're not going to go with you. But like, we might have. Like, we may have gone just to see Cindy Crawford naked.
Yeah, now you don't have to leave your house. You don't
have to, but you don't have to
get abducted.
$10 a month? Fuck. A fucking coffee's $10.
Right.
You're going to get some poon. And also, girls don't like people in real life anymore. So.
Right. So I saw this girl on TikTok talking about this, and of course, like I think most women are opposed to this than guys, because like we don't care. Like, I mean, I'm always been like the dude. If you could do it, then do it. Like, that's amazing. Like, that sounds fucking awesome. Like, but
that's why dudes can't do it, because we would all do it, and that's why there's no market for us.
Right. But I also think the other way too. Like, sugar daddies and you know, and gold diggers, I've never really cared about that. Like, everyone's happy. It's kind of like the prostitution kind of argument where it's like,
oh, totally.
Like, okay, if everyone's happy and nobody's hurting anybody, what does it matter? Like, who cares? Why is everybody so angry about this?
It's interesting you brought that up, because I literally had that conversation today, this afternoon. I had that conversation saying it is a weird thing that sort of found its natural state, which is women desire security, physical and financial security. The men that have financial and physical security happen to usually be in the middle age. They desire women in their 20s. We are now in a place where that's very easy to connect. And that's what's happening, is middle-aged men are providing financial security for women in their 20s, getting sexual gratification in some form. That's pretty fucking natural.
Yeah.
I don't see a problem with it. I do see a problem, and the context of this is, I do know for a fact that at least for a segment of the population, the female population, there is an emotional toll, right? They should not be equating their self-esteem with sexual desire, because that's a false fucking thing and it doesn't last, and they're worth more than that. But our society isn't real good at recognizing that, and money is the fuel for choices. So
a lot of these dating apps and these social media sites have kind of ruined women too, where like women think they have to look a certain way,
right?
But also they think that they deserve a certain type of man.
What age do you want your guy to be?
So 20 to 25.
20 to 25?
Yeah.
Married? Does it matter?
No, not married.
What race?
Could be either.
White, black, or Asian?
White.
We'll do white. We'll do white.
There's no in between.
Minimum height?
We could do like 5'11", 5'10".
5'10"?
Yeah.
Obese?
No, he has to be fit.
Minimum income, like what's the least you can make?
500K.
Wait, what?
500K. Let's do like 200. Let's do
200K?
Yeah.
So your man falls into 0.023%, so you're pretty delusional. You're not going to find a guy like that.
Oh, okay, that's lovely. That's lovely.
You got to lower your standards a little bit.
But why is that?
Guys like that don't exist. Almost like a unicorn.
Okay.
But also, I think we're making the mistake of thinking that we're all on the same page with what success in a relationship is. I think women, I'm not putting them down here. I'm not saying it's negative, but women desire physical and financial security. If that comes in a form that doesn't require them to live with the dude, I think that probably makes them more happy most of the time. I think our society up until very recently required that they live with the dude and submit to him at his whim. Now they can live on their own terms. Some dude's going to pay for their shit. I know. Some dude's going to pay for their shit. It sounds amazing because you and I have because you and I have a self-worth that isn't based upon that thing.
Well, in theory, it sounds amazing, but it's fucking people up in the head.
It's
like,
false.
in the long run.
Because it's false. Because it's all aesthetic and it has nothing to do with merit. It has nothing to do with worth. The real worth, and these are the conversations I've had with some people in my life that I'm trying to sort of like at least relate my experience to, which is you can have success in different areas and you can have failure in different areas and whatever. The thing that you can't get taken away is real work. When you fucking do something real, when you move earth, when you do pavers, when you fucking dig holes, when you do things that are real, nobody can ever take that effort away from you. That's the actual gold and then if you get to buy things based upon that actual physical fucking thing, and I'm not saying you can't make money as an accountant or doing something where you're not physically moving. I'm just saying this idea of this aesthetic where people know it's false, right? Like women know that's false. They know that it's a fucking joke and that people are paying them for something that isn't who they are. It's who they think they are. That fucks people up. If you go out and somebody says, if that pile of fucking dirt isn't moved from that end of this place to that end, you're not getting paid, and you move it, nobody can ever say to you, that was false. We're missing a lot of that tangibility in our world, and it's really fucking people up. It's fucking people up because if you move that fucking pile of dirt, you will get paid for it, which is a benefit. But the real benefit is I fucking move that dirt. And nobody can ever take that away from you. If somebody hands you a bunch of fucking money and says, I don't care if you move the dirt or not, just fucking show me your tits, that fucks people up. So, I don't know. I observe this from a distance and I see what I see. And like I said, if I had a daughter, I might tell her, get on OnlyFans and fucking make your money because financial security is a real thing. But also, beware the fucking free money and beware the aesthetic trap.
All right, one of my favorite trends for this year. Actually, there's a few trends here. So I know that you're not on like a lot of the video scrolling sites, but you do see the Facebook ones, right? The what is
mostly
it? Reels and stuff like that, right?
Uh-huh.
So apparently, this is kind of mean because we're talking about babies here, but still kind of
fuck
funny.
Babies.
Still kind of funny.
Fuck babies.
There was a trend this year. If you mooed like a cow at babies, it makes them cry.
Moo.
Oh no.
Moo. Oh my god, it is true.
Moo.
Hold on. I love that people have figured this out because are we just sitting around trying to fucking figure out how to torture our kids now?
Well, Lee, it's funny that you say that because there's another one that they would do to kids. And here's my theory on this. Here, the other one is people would pretend like they're holding their kid's head or whatever, and they pretend to hit the wall, and then the kid cries, right?
Oh, it's okay. Oh, baby, are you okay? Oh, are you okay? Oh, it's okay. Are you okay? Oh, you okay, baby? Oh, Sonny, are you okay? Oh, no.
The kid is not reacting to them hitting the wall. They're reacting to the parents going, oh no, oh no.
Oh, probably.
Like, and the kid's like, oh, I'm supposed to cry now? Oh, fuck.
Right.
It's like,
right.
That's why.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, look, I mean, I guess it's better than, dad fucking chucking the whiskey bottle at the wall, which happened up until, 30 years ago.
Did that happen to you, buddy? No,
30 years, I don't know, whatever.
No, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Is, like, the thing that actually bothers me now is that parents are putting their kids on fucking blast on the internet where they can't have a choice. Like, don't put your kids on the internet. Don't fucking do that. Don't do that. They don't have a choice. Fuck you. That's the thing is, don't put your kids on the internet. Don't. It's not fair. They don't have a choice.
All right. Here's a good one, though. Here's a good one. This is absolutely my favorite trend of this year that happened on social media. And I think I've sent you a couple of these, but anyway, what they would do is they would print off old pictures of famous athletes from their social media accounts from way back in the day, maybe 10, 15 years ago. And then they would print them off, and then they would come up and they'd go up to a famous athlete and they're like, hey man, can I get your autograph?
Can you sign this for me real quick?
Sign it?
Yeah, I need a signature.
Sign it, brother.
Oh, yeah, flip it over. You gotta flip it over.
Hell no!
Oh, wow. What is this? Sweet 16.
Don't show this to anyone else, ever. Don't let my mother find out.
Will you sign this?
You gotta be joking me right now. Absolutely not. Where did you find this? Take it away. Take it away.
Y'all wildin'. Where y'all find it from?
Facebook.
I'm finna delete my page, man.
Do you mind signing this for us real quick?
Signing? Yeah. Oh,
Right. No, I actually like that one. Yeah, it's some a prom picture or whatever.
I fucking love it.
Come on.
I love it. It's so great.
I do too, and this is the great evolution of hey, you were putting your shit online from junior high on. Guess what? We can all find it.
Yeah, they're like...
I like it. That's a very wholesome version of
yep.
Hey, your shit's online from the time you were a kid.
Yeah. I love that one. Now, just moving in, right into sports. So the Olympics were this year, Lee. Olympics were this year. Now, I thought it was funny that we had everything from Snoop Dogg and Flava Flav as the face of the Olympics this year. Kind of weird. What were your thoughts on
gangsters and anyway? Okay.
It's kind of it's weird, right? I don't know, but
no, is it weird that people who are literal gangsters and pimps are now wholesome and anyway?
So that was kind of
is this the definition of a degradation of society?
I mean, you've seen what's happened the last few years. I mean, come on, man.
I don't know. We used to have massive racists as our fucking totems in society. Whatever. I don't know. Maybe it's the same.
So the biggest event by far, well, virally anyways, because I don't remember anything else from the Olympics except for this. Australian breakdance performer Rachel Gunn. Ray Gunn.
Here we go. Ray Gunn starting the conversation.
Her breakdancing had everyone talking for all the wrong reasons.
Is that a kangaroo reference, Ronnie?
Now breaking her silence a week after she left fans reeling from that performance at the Paris Olympics.
I'm glad I was able to bring some joy into your lives. I didn't realize that would also open the door to so much hate, which has frankly been pretty devastating.
Australia's Rachel Gunn, better known as Ray Gunn, didn't win any medals, but her moves launched 1,000 memes.
I'm hitting the sprinkler or I'm rolling around on the floor.
I got moves, so what you gonna do? I'm a worm, y'all.
Even gaining some pretty famous admirers. From Saturday Night Live's cast to Adele.
It's the best thing that's happened in the Olympics.
You have to wonder where Ray Gun is right now. Where's that music coming from?
And Jimmy Fallon.
Me? You want me to dance with you? All right, I can do that.
I worked my butt off preparing for the Olympics, and I gave my all, truly.
The 36-year-old, who was up against mostly younger competitors, has a PhD in sports culture and did her thesis on breaking. The Australian Olympic Committee defended her place on the team.
I'm honoured to have been a part of the Australian Olympic team.
Reagan has been shown some love online as well, including those in the breaking community writing, "We got your back." As for Reagan, she says she's off to Europe for some downtime, telling her supporters she appreciates the positivity while also supporting her other Olympic breakdancers.
What the other athletes have achieved has just been phenomenal.
Dude, I hope that lady doesn't kill herself. I'm all for her doing that, but it is an absolute perfect example of why we need to stop giving people trophies for just showing up. Right? It shouldn't be on her.
Did she go through a vetting process? Did they have an actual competition for this?
That's the actual problem, is not her.
Yeah.
The problem is that we have built a system that says, oh, well, yeah, you're not good, but we don't want you to feel like you're not good, so you get to go to the Olympics. The fucking Olympics.
I mean, it was the first year they had this ridiculous event. And they said it's going to be the last year.
And the last. They fucked it up because you can't have a fucking meritocracy like the Olympics, which was the last bastion of meritocracy. Sports are the last bastion of meritocracy, right?
Yeah.
If the coach's kid is 1/10 of a second slower than the fucking most hated person in America, guess who's running the race? The most hated person in America. That is merit. That is how it should be for meritocratic fucking activities. They fucked it up. They fucked it up, and they said this fucking lady, who is probably a nice lady and was probably given the best she had.
That's what she's going to be known for the rest of her life.
And I hope she doesn't kill herself, because the world will inevitably recognize the truth, which is she's a terrible breakdancer by a fucking objective measure. And the people who put her there are the ones who should be put on blast. The people who put her there, who said, yeah, let's fucking put this person up as the representative of the best that we have to offer in this realm.
Okay. So, Lee, we go from the worst of this year.
All right. That was pretty bad.
Kind of not objectively. It's kind of like she's the worst of this year.
I mean,
two, athlete of the year is Caitlin Clark.
Here comes Clark. How will she go for history? There it is! The all-time leading scorer in women's college basketball.
With the first pick in the 2024 WNBA draft, the Indiana Fever select Caitlin Clark, University of Iowa.
Breaking news here on SportsCenter, and a surprise to absolutely nobody. Caitlin Clark has been named WNBA Rookie of the Year, the #1 overall pick. She also took down a few league records, including scoring the most points by a guard in a single season. But wait, there's more. Clark set single-season rookie records for points, assists, and three-pointers. Her 337 assists were a WNBA single-season record overall. She also became the first rookie in WNBA history to record a triple-double, and she did it twice.
Listen, she's not physically the best athlete in the world.
That's the thing, is
she changed the sport for she's like, this is like, it's like Jordan status, like style, as far as like she's getting all these deals.
I love this, because this is meritocracy in sort of a tiered system, right? Like, I am a bigger WNBA fan than NBA fan. But like the biggest sports story, the thing about merit is I guess we have to make room for, and this gets into a whole another, unfortunately, political discussion about men versus women and sort of the tiered system of athletics. But like, okay, so she broke Pistol Pete Maravich's record, right? who would win in a one-on-one basketball game, Pistol Pete Maravich at age 50 or her?
Right.
I'm not putting her down. She's amazing. She's in the realm that she is. She's the best she that has ever been at this level at that point in her career. I'm all for it. I fucking love it. I love that this moves forward and gets people involved. I fucking love it. It's amazing. I wasn't super aware of it, but I love it. That said, I don't know, man. Like, I'm tired of this argument that like everyone is equal. And, you know, I think they had some argument about the dude. I think he plays for the Jets now, a dude that played at her college, and he was a fucking amazing athlete. And they asked him, he's like, hey, how would you fare in a one-on-one game against Caitlin Clark? And he's like, I feel like I'd do pretty well. And then they buried the dude. They fucking buried the dude. But in reality, he was a mediocre basketball player, a great football player, or whatever, and he would have smoked her.
Well, that's like there's this guy that is on TikTok or whatever, and these random guys like say like, man, you fucking suck. Like they look at his record like in the NBA, and he was just
the worst NBA guy.
He's like one of the worst guys ever like in the NBA, and he's like, I don't think you guys understand like what the NBA is.
Yeah, here goes Scal. He's not wasting time. Elbows up.
How about that? Uses his body to push Matt out of the way, and that's the way I think it's going to go all day today. Scal looks beat red. Oh, and Scal nails
that is a 2. We're calling that a 2. All right, game point. What's he gonna do?
He's waiting for the shot clock to run down, and he drives to the hole.
Waiting for the shot clock to run down. That is an interesting strategy.
And
endgame Scalabrini. What a contest.
Hey, seriously?
Good luck with the rest of your...
I might have been the worst in the NBA, but I could school the shit out of you guys.
I've seen a couple of those, yeah.
I don't even think they score. Like,
no, it's light years ahead of... And that's the thing is like, okay, so I'm actually, I mean, I hope I've built a pretty good reputation of supporting women's sports. I go to a lot of them. Like, I'm all for it. I actually enjoy it most of the time more than the men's sports, at least in basketball. Because in basketball, it's super boring to me now. They just shoot half-court shots. Women's basketball, in NBA, men's basketball, all men's basketball. I've been going to a lot of basketball lately. Men's basketball, it's boring as shit. They just fucking shoot three-pointers. Women's basketball, you can see them moving the ball. You can see them running plays. You can see them doing shit. I enjoy that more.
Right.
I love Caitlin Clark. I love that she's doing this shit. But it shouldn't have been the biggest story in sports.
I mean,
right? Shohei Ohtani is the greatest player in the last 150 years.
That is legit. That is legit.
And Caitlin Clark is the biggest sports. I'm with you. I don't want to shit on it. I get it.
And listen. Can you? I've never been a fan of WNBA, and I'm still not. I'm not a fan of like really NBA or WNBA or any of that kind of stuff. But
yeah, I'm not a huge. Yeah.
The fact that she is responsible for so much change in the sport. It's almost more popular than the NBA right now.
Well, that's
because
good
of her and that other. I can't remember the other girl's name, but it was kind of like they're calling it like kind of like the Magic and Bird kind of deal.
Yeah, that's right. That rivalry. I forget who she was fighting.
Angel Reese or something something.
So I love that, and honestly, if that sport starts supporting itself and starts making money on its own because people actually want to watch it, awesome. That's what I really want. They are a subsidized sport right now that everybody's complaining, like, why aren't you supporting WNBA? And Bill Burr had the best argument. Where the fuck are you, ladies?
Yeah. No.
Where the fuck are you?
Remember we used to talk about this,
like stands, taking your fucking shirts off, painting the.
They would move the people in the stands to the other side,
to the camera side.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's so bad, man.
Yeah.
That's so bad.
Look, we get authenticity when we see it, we understand it. You're not fooling us if you fucking can't fill an arena. If you fill an arena, we will buy in, and this shit we'll buy into. Like, we'll buy into this rivalry, we'll buy into the athleticism, we'll buy into the fucking competitiveness, the rivalries. Like, but don't sell us bullshit and make us feel bad about it for not wanting to watch something that is subpar. I think the WNBA is actually catching the NBA. I think it's better. I think it's a better product, and I hope they keep getting fucking better. I think women's fight sports are better than men's fight sports.
Oh God.
I think I think that's where we're at, and I hope they keep getting exposure because they're better. It
is funny. You know, the one thing that really bugs me about fighting, whether it's boxing or MMA of the last, I don't know, 10 years. And this really bugs me because, like, you never see this ever. And I always talk about this, but now everyone's kind of like, let's fake it.
Yeah.
Until it's over.
It's protect. No, but
like it's no, I'm talking about let's fake.
Totally the slap.
And let's fake
fucking,
like Tyson, like pushing him before the
slapping
thing,
him. You stepped on my foot.
Like,
no,
fuck you, man.
I agree.
Like I'm gonna fuck. He's like, I fucking hate this guy. And then afterwards, they're flying and sipping champagne on their flights. Afterwards, I'm like, dude, you would never see this shit back in the day. You would never ever see this. Like these guys genuinely hated each other. It was a fucking battle to the end.
You want to know why?
Money.
Dinner. Money. The dinner was at stake. They had to eat.
Yeah.
Women are hungry. If they don't win, they don't fucking get paid.
That's what I was gonna say. These women, they're like legit. Like, I mean, they'll like hug each other afterwards.
Brawlers, but it's respect.
You could tell
it's not. They go out there and they will fucking brawl, and it's because they're hungry.
I mean, that one chick beat her face in.
Dude, the hunger. And honestly, I think that's what we're talking about, like, in American sort of culture in general. I think we talked a little bit about, maybe it was before we started recording, but like in construction, it was me and Jen. Jen was mentioning she's in construction now. All the dudes in construction now are Latin. That isn't because they're better than what we do. It's because they're the ones willing to do it because they're fucking hungry. American culture has shifted now where not too many people are hungry. And it takes away from it. You can see it. You can fucking see it when they're coasting because they both get paid. The loser gets paid $5 million. The winner gets paid $7 million. They're not getting hurt for this. If the loser gets to move on and fucking might have a shot at a life, they're fighting their fucking ass off. The hunger is what we're missing, and we see it in small doses. And I think women's sports, I think it's going to have a fucking moment, because it's the real spot where people say, if I don't win this fight, I don't get paid. And if I don't get paid, I don't eat. That's American. That's fucking American. And that's what fighting used to be. All the fighters, up until very recently, were fighting for their lives.
Well, was that you that was like talking about how the Dodgers, after they won that first playoff game, was it the first playoff game, or was it even like just getting to the playoffs? Like they were celebrating like they won the goddamn World Series.
Every baseball team, every baseball team now has for the first round of the playoffs, they tape off all the fucking shit in the clubhouse and they give them goggles, fucking ski goggles, because they don't want the precious fucking eyes to get hit by champagne and corks and shit. And they celebrate it like it's a goddamn thing. The Mariners dance after every win, and they made the playoffs twice in the last fucking 25 years. The hunger isn't there for most people, because why do you give a shit if you got paid $30 million to lose? Yeah. This is an old, I think it's Kyle Kinane talks about, if you go to your job every day, he talked about the Lions, the Detroit Lions, who lost every game in one season. And he said, but if you go to that game and you do that job and you lose and you do it wrong every single day and drive home in a Bentley, you've won. That's where we're at in America. You can go to your job and you can do it wrong every day and have a 75-inch screen on your wall. That's not hunger. And there are some hungry people who are still willing to show us, nah, man, I'm going to fight for it. In construction, I can tell you from first-hand experience, it's the Latin guys. They're hungry. They want to work. White guys don't want to work.
Just
in
circling
sports,
back.
It's women.
Just circling back here. So like that Caitlin Clark, I would see the highlights, and that she got the shit beat out of her this year.
Dude, she's a killer.
She's
a killer, though.
She doesn't give a shit. Like, it was crazy. I was like, man, she's getting the shit beat out of her. And like, and they were They were after.
Caitlin Clark was once again the victim of a rough, unnecessary, flagrant foul, and the stats show she is clearly being targeted. A staggering 17% of all flagrant fouls in the WNBA this season have been against Clark. Strikingly, 4 of the 5 were committed by the Chicago Sky. Here they are. The most recent was Diamond DeShields ramming into Clark. The game was already over with the Fever holding a 27-point lead at that point. Continuing the Sky bullying Clark, the most infamous has to be Kennedy Carter shouldering Caitlin Clark to the ground, with Angel Reese applauding the hard foul on the sideline. Speaking of Reese, the next flagrant was Angel taking a huge swipe that connected with Clark's head. Both Clark and Reese brushed it off, insisting the foul was not a big deal and that it was a basketball play. Michaela Onyenware was contesting a Clark 3, but was a bit over-aggressive in closing out, leading to Clark tumbling to the ground, in which a flagrant was called.
She's NBA, a fucking dead-eyed killer. I love it so fucking much.
It's crazy.
I love it. She's a killer. But
I mean,
but women's sports in general,
she's not.
Well, and that's why I think it was kind of confusing. Like the biggest sports story for me, I'm a baseball dude. Biggest sports story for me is the best player to play in a major league sport in 100 years.
3-1. Smashes this ball. Forget about it. Marte doesn't even move. It's gone. Ohtani with an absolute rocket. Forget about it. I didn't know this is how it worked. Oh my goodness. There it goes down the line, and Ohtani breaks the record.
But I do respect Caitlin Clark. I'm glad we're talking about it because
the impact of this this individual is it's mind blowing. Like I mean, both of them are mind blowing, but like it's crazy. Like, and it was weird because I remember watching the championship, the Iowa championship, and they lost.
Yeah, she lost. Yep.
But it was funny because like I was like a couple weeks later I was like, wait, she's in the NBA already, and like she's like running down the court, and I was like, wait, what? Like, is this like really this? It happens this fast? Like we're like this is like what? Like
I think the seasons happen to be
that was crazy. I was like, what is this?
Well, and especially in WNBA because like there's not really a developmental league or whatever. Like I think they're like, oh, you're done with college, let's get you out on this court. But also, dude, I watched the fucking. Here's how backwards fucking America is, and like our sort of understanding. And I'm not bashing America. We just aren't hungry. We're it's a weird culture because I watched an interview with Sue Bird with Alex Rodriguez, oddly, a money show that Alex Rodriguez hosts. And Sue Bird was talking about the money. And she said, here in the WNBA, we stopped giving a shit about the collective bargaining agreement and negotiating here because we weren't making any money. We were busy making our money in Europe and in Russia. They went and played there and they made all their money. And then they're like, we don't really give a shit about the contract here. Just sign whatever the fuck it is because we're not getting paid anyway. That's kind of weird, right? That shows a little bit of our culture.
Yeah, it is weird.
Over there, they appreciate the fucking game. They appreciate the hunger. They appreciate something that we're kind of missing here right now.
You go to prison.
Yeah. Well, right. Yeah, we're there. It's
Lee, we had some speaking of sports legends here. We had some sports legends that died this year. But you know what? It wasn't. Listen, it wasn't. This is a weird year for celebrity deaths in general, in my opinion.
Okay.
Just because everyone's kind of been age appropriate all across the board. Like, you know what I mean? Like, usually it's like, oh my God, this is a really shocking death.
Yeah, Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah, or like, it's like, holy fucking shit. Like, Chris Cornell died. What?
Right.
Like, no, like, we haven't really seen any of that. Like, we had Seattle legend Tony Ventrella. He died. He was 80.
79, 80, yeah.
80. Pete Rose, 83. Willie Mays, 93.
Dude, yeah.
Jerry West, 86. Bill Walton, 71. O.J. Simpson, 76. So it's like all these guys are like, okay, I mean, that's when you're kind of like, all these guys are, that's kind of like when you're kind of maybe, in the range of.
That's a pretty good life. Like you beat the average.
Especially for athletes, right? I mean,
hey, you beat the average.
Baseball Hall of Famer Rickey Henderson has died. Nicknamed the Man of Steel, Henderson played 25 seasons and is the all-time leader in stolen bases. He was a 10-time All-Star and an MVP. Rickey Henderson would have turned 66 years old on Christmas Day.
Look, there was the CEO of United Healthcare. That was a pretty nutty one, right?
Chilling new details tonight following what police say was the premeditated murder of the CEO of United Healthcare on the busy streets of Midtown Manhattan early today. Surveillance video capturing the moment Brian Thompson was approached from behind by the shooter. Police say Thompson was shot at least twice. The Minnesota man was pronounced dead at the hospital.
Shackled and handcuffed, Luigi Mangione was led into a lower Manhattan courtroom today where he spoke briefly to enter a plea. Mangione is facing 11 counts, including first-degree murder in connection with terrorism for allegedly killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson nearly 3 weeks ago.
I'm torn on this because how many New Yorkers got shot to death 6 blocks from there and nobody gives a fuck?
Right.
Like it's all those things.
Oh, the guy that made what did he make, like 10 million? I don't even know what he made.
We need to get justice, but also half the country's like, yeah, fucking health insurance.
All these people that get denied for their parents' cancer treatments.
Right.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
So like, it's kind of weird that like, I mean, that's a celebrity death. That, like,
I mean, a lot of people are calling this like the who's your hijacker guy?
DB Cooper. Right.
People are like, this is like the DB Cooper of this generation. I'm like, but he didn't kill anybody. Like,
which is horseshit because like people have this thing against CEOs. CEOs are designed to make money for their companies. They are not inherently evil. They're paid to do that job for their company. Now, whether their company has some sort of social fucking agenda as well, right? And that's the thing is like, I think people are sick of pure capitalism, and I hope it doesn't turn to socialism, but pure capitalism is pure greed. It is. It's, I'm going to make the most profit I can inside the rules or outside the rules so long as the penalty isn't higher than the fucking profit. That's capitalism. And if people don't understand it, that's what it is. People want a little bit more social equity. They want a little bit more fucking healthcare saying, yeah, we understand you have leukemia. Let's fucking work with you. That's not capitalism.
Right.
So we're in a weird spot, right?
Yeah.
Where this dude walked up and shot somebody to death on a sidewalk in fucking Manhattan, and 2/3 of the company are rooting for that guy to get away.
It's crazy. Yeah.
It is crazy because we do live in fact, I think we're going to get to this in movies. So I'll save it for movies because we did watch a couple movies. And I'll bring it up, but like
just go right into it. That's the next thing I have down here.
Okay, so the movie thing, we saw a lot of movies.
Yeah,
I'll cover a few of them, but the one we just saw was The Order, right? And it's about the white supremacist movement out of Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and ended up in Whidbey Island, Washington. And I was aware of this my whole life. I knew about this story, and pretty nutty, right? And when we finished watching it, Jewel said, "That's the scariest movie I've seen." And I said, the interesting thing is, so it's about white supremacists and some fucking domestic terrorism shit and some assassinations. And they killed a radio DJ, a Jewish radio DJ out of Denver, and super scary, right? And Jewel literally leaned over and said, "That's the scariest movie I've seen." And I said, "Here's the thing. Our government is really, really good at finding those people before they do dumb shit." And then I paused and said, and that may be actually the bigger worry. Our government does illegal things to surveil and track people under the guise of protecting the masses. Except they do that for all of us. They're looking at all of that for all of us at all times. Whether they choose to use it for nefarious purposes, I hope they never do. But that's actually the thing is like and there are a million. Operation Stellar Wind is a 20-year-old version, but like the NSA has surveillance on all of us right now through all of our cell phones that is so deep and rich that we do not have privacy. I'm not super worried about it. I'm not that interested. I'm not that interesting to them, but it's interesting. But I said that to Jewel. She goes, "This is the scariest movie I've seen," because she was afraid of the domestic terror, right? And the racism. And I said, valid. And I said, the thing that actually scares me just a little bit more than that, because they catch the racists, is that we're trusting our government to not use that information against us at their will. So it's a weird thing.
I like the, remember when I sent you guys the AI version of one of the intros that I did of myself?
Oh, right. Dude, hold on. So let's go all the way back. Do you remember the argument? Do you remember the argument in that movie Loose Change about 9/11?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And people said, "Come on, voice recognition or voice fucking AI voice shit can't be that advanced."
And who has it before anybody else?
And we're trusting that they get it correct. Right. I believe we live in the freest society the world has ever known. I'm not worried about it. I think our government is super inept and they can't really do things that well, so I'm not actually super worried about it. That said, I am less worried about getting blown up by a fucking racist than I am about the government fucking criminally going after people for taxation shit that isn't warranted. So anyway, but that movie, a couple things. First of all, awesome movie because it's true and they followed it pretty correctly, except I think they had one of the cops die in it, and in reality, I think he got shot in the leg. But dude, Jude Law, it's weird when you run into an actor or you see an actor do a thing where you know it's him, and the entire movie you're like, but is that him? Is that him? Is that really? Because he's doing such a good job of being something totally different than what you've ever seen him do. The entire movie, I was like, there's no fucking way that this British dude is this American dude. Like, I was almost distracted, almost to the point of like paying attention to him more than the movie, because I was like, there's no way this can be that dude. There's no way this can be Jude Law. There's no way. He's so good in this, and he's so convincing as this fucking American 80s FBI guy. It was so incredible. And the story was good. The acting was good. All that stuff was good. But I was transfixed by this dude, Jude Law, who just, the entire time I was like, until I saw the credits, I wasn't entirely sure it was him. Even though I knew it was fucking him. I recommend it.
Impressive.
It's a great movie. It's a good movie. But that acting, that thing where an actor can completely make you wonder if it's them when you're looking them dead in the face and you know it's them. And you're like, can that be him?
Can I remember when I saw that, him? You know, not because he's a great actor, but you just reminded me of, what was that U-571? Is it U-571, that submarine movie from?
Yeah, that's a submarine movie. Yeah.
And I was like, is that Bon Jovi? Is that?
Oh, right.
Is that Bon? And I was like,
right. And
I was like, I got to wait for the credits because it looked like Bon Jovi, and,
right.
and it was, and I was like, oh, okay. It was like, and again, it wasn't because he was like some crazy awesome actor. I was just like, that looks like fucking Bon Jovi.
Yeah.
Like,
so that one's a little bit like, okay, the context is I don't expect him to be an actor.
Right. And I didn't know he was in the movie. So I was like, what?
Right. This one, it was one of those
just because he was such a good actor and he changed his, accent and everything.
And because we don't know what movie we're going into, those mystery movies are pretty cool because you don't know what you're signing up for.
Yeah.
And I didn't have any idea. I was like, I didn't even know this movie existed. But when you run into that, where this was the opposite of that, which was this dude is an established actor, has been in a million things. I recognize him in literally every other thing he's ever done. And the entire 2-hour movie, I was like, is that? No. I think it's him. Is it him? Holy shit. No, they got some unknown American actor like the whole time. So I don't know, that movie to go into movies though. I recommend that, The Order.
Okay.
Kind of scary, pretty awesome. We did see a lot of movies this year, dude. We tried to do date nights, like going to mystery movies or whatever. I think we saw, and this is not a comprehensive list, but I think we saw My Old Ass, which is an Aubrey Plaza movie. I dig everything Aubrey Plaza does from Parks and Recreation. I think she's hilarious. I love her offbeat sense of humor. I love it.
Deadpan sense.
Yeah, and that movie, it's all right. Like it's whatever. It's kind of poignant, whatever, and I don't know. It's cool. But Aubrey Plaza, I'm in. I hope she does more shit. I'll watch anything she's in. We saw a movie called Your Monster, which is kind of a Beauty and the Beast thing, but it turned into like a weird horror thing. I was kind of in because the acting was so good, and it was a weird like theater thing and sort of musical, and like it was not something that like if you had described it to me before that I'd be like, yeah, let's go watch it. But because it was a mystery movie, I got sucked in, and the acting was really good. The acting got me. So Your Monster, not bad. Good acting. I don't know. I remember we saw, I don't know if this was this year. It must have been this year. I think we saw The Beekeeper. at the beginning, which is a Statham movie. It is Statham.
It's like it's over the top. It's like
so over the top, and it's over the top and formulaic and whatever. It's Statham, whatever. What do you want? Like, it's Jason Statham. We saw the Bob Marley movie, One Love.
Okay.
It was good.
Yeah.
Good. I mean, pretty good acting. Nothing amazing in it. Great music, obviously. I don't know. We saw the fucking Roadhouse movie. Did we see that? That must have been a Netflix one. I don't remember if we watched that at home or in the theater. I think we watched it at home.
I remember you were gonna watch. Was it the first one and then immediately following this?
Yeah, we did. It must have been at home. I think we watched that on Netflix.
And you were like, dude, just don't call it that.
Dude, that's my thing with this. Like, that's my thing with all this is like, you could just don't call it Point Break 2. Call it some other fucking movie, the fucking plane heist or whatever, and you're fine. Like, but if you call it Point Break, you're fucking stuck compared to Point Break. If you call this Roadhouse, you're stuck comparing to Patrick Swayze and fucking Sam Elliott.
Yeah.
And the first one wasn't a good movie. It's crazy because it's not a good movie. It's cheesy and stupid and whatever. But like, the second one, you just call it something different. I don't know. Anyway, it's Swayze. Just look. If you want a general rule in Hollywood, don't remake a Swayze movie.
Yeah.
Don't do. And they've remade all of them: Red Dawn, Roadhouse, Point Break. I mean, I guess they haven't done fucking Dirty Dancing.
Lee, that's what I was going to bring up with you. Can you guess how many of the top 25 grossing movies this year were sequels?
Of the top 25, I can't.
Of the top 25.
I mean, it's a pure guess, but hold on. I mean, I can think of at least a couple. Fall Guy was okay. Is that a remake or is that a sequel? Is the Fall Guy? We watched that in a double feature with the fucking.
That came in at number 23.
Okay, so Fall Guy was actually I would watch that again. It's okay. It's entertaining. It's not good, but well, I take it back because Fall Guy was not a sequel because that was a TV show. So anyway, but Bad Boys, that was a double feature with the Bad Boys one, Bad Boys for Life, which isn't good. I fell asleep.
Ride or Die.
Yeah, Ride or whatever the fuck it is. Yeah, Ride or Die. Okay, so of the top 25,
yes.
Holy shit, Roadhouse was a fucking remake. Wicked, we saw Wicked. Is Wicked a remake? Do you count Wicked as a remake? No. I mean, it's a Wizard. Okay.
No, that's because that was a play, I believe, right?
But it was also the fucking Wizard of Oz. So, like, do we?
I mean, okay.
Well, I mean, it's 100. It was 100 years ago, so maybe we don't. Wicked, not bad. I didn't get it. Jewel loved it. She's into whatever. Okay, fine. Man, of the top 25, I'm gonna guess 11.
So,
I
had these highlighted. I had these highlighted, but my highlighted thing went out.
Okay,
so check this out. I'm just gonna go through these real quick, right?
Yeah.
So you have Inside and Out 2. You have Deadpool and Wolverine.
Oh, see, I'm missing all the fucking superhero movies, but
Despicable
they're all
Me 4.
Fuck.
Dune Part 2. Godzilla and Kong: The New Empire. Kung Fu Panda 4. Venom: The Last Dance. Beetlejuice. Bad Boys: Ride or Die. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Mona 2. Twisters. Wicked, based on the musical, but also, I guess we could consider
it's not an original screenplay.
Alien Romulus. Okay. Gladiator 2.
Oh, I saw that one too. Also a disappointment. Don't do that.
A Quiet Place 3. The Garfield movie, sequel. The Joker 2. Ghostbusters, Frozen Empire, The Fall Guy, and Mad Max Furiosa.
Has to be 2/3 of the movies.
Oh, it's easily
non-original.
It's got to be 20. It's got to be 20.
Yeah, 20 of the 20. I would agree. 20 of the 25 are non-original fucking movies.
More. Isn't that wild?
I mean, it is, but it isn't. Like, we're in a private equity stage where people just are milking the thing that they fucking know. We're not in a period of innovation.
Lee, it's like music. What I tell people about music, the brand is so important that even without 0 members in a band, it's just too valuable not to use that brand. So it's like you have these fucking bands that, like, I saw that they're like, every time I run to the comments every time I see this. So like, oh my God, Jefferson Starship is touring, and I'm like, what the fuck?
They're all dead.
Half of them are dead. Almost all of them are dead.
Yeah, like what?
And then the ones that are alive, they haven't been with the band for 20 years. And I'm like,
right.
People are that's not the band. That's nobody's even remotely close to being in the band. And there's a lot of these like bands that are out there. A lot of them.
Right.
So it's like they must have leased the name where they give, proceeds to the living band members or relatives. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like, it's the brand.
I don't get it. Cause I don't know. I don't feel like we were just up for sequels. I feel like our generation actually created shit. Not us, obviously, but like our generation. Right. All the sequels that are happening now are sequels from our generation.
Yeah.
I mean, the new Goonies movie, people have been talking about that, like coming up, like they're just remaking
even
movies.
That was like false. That
I know, but like, but that's what I'm saying is like,
right.
I think, are we done with original? And the sad thing is, no, we're not done with it. We're in a state where people only feel like that's what they have. Fuck, politically, that's where we're at is we only feel like we have these choices that are fucking curated and we know what we get and nobody wants a risk. Everybody wants the thing they want. They just want pepperoni pizza. Just give me fucking pepperoni pizza. I don't want to try your fucking new version.
Pepperoni pizza.
It is good.
Delicious. All right, Lee. So do you have any comments on the rock scandals for this year? We have Dave Grohl.
The Foo Fighters frontman has admitted to the ultimate betrayal against wife of 21 years, Jordan Bloom, and their 3 children. Quote, I've recently become the father of a new baby daughter, born outside of my marriage. I am doing everything I can to regain their trust and earn their forgiveness. The 55-year-old has pledged to be part of his newborn's life, but the revelation comes as a shock for fans, as Dave's image has always been that of a devoted family man.
The only shocking thing is, like, he's the good guy in rock and roll, but it's like
a good guy in rock and roll.
But it doesn't really affect anything that.
I don't.
You know what I mean?
The
like,
fact that ever made the fucking news kind of bothers me. Is like, I don't care. Like I marginally cared that Michael Jackson might have molested kids because that's a big deal.
Yeah. The big story this year is the P. Diddy story.
On September 16th, 2024, music mogul Sean Diddy Combs was arrested in New York City and charged with racketeering, trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, and transportation to engage in relations for money. Prosecutors allege Diddy ran a criminal enterprise involving forced labor, kidnapping, and bribery. At the center of it all are so-called freak-offs, orchestrated erotic activities where Diddy allegedly directed men and women in X-rated performances. Many were said to be unknowingly filmed and blackmailed. Purportedly, victims, some underage, were controlled using threats, violence, narcotics, and money. Raids on Diddy's homes uncovered videos, firearms, and curiously, over 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant. Combs denies all charges, but if convicted, faces up to life in prison.
It sounds pretty fucking Epstein-ish.
Oh, yeah.
Except he's black, so he's not getting away with it. Epstein didn't technically get away with it either.
Epstein get away with
it?
No,
but they just murdered him. They didn't fucking excoriate him and lynch him publicly.
Oh God! So this is wild, man. So just to cover this a little bit here. So he's now in federal custody.
Sure.
Awaiting trial on charges of racketeering and sex trafficking.
Sure.
More than 24 people have filed lawsuits against the rapper, accusing him of using his influence to do everything from drugging, assaulting, and raping people.
Sure.
During the raid of his compound, they confiscated over 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lube.
Feels like a lot. Weird. That feels.
Like,
I mean,
okay.
I mean, do I have 1,000? Hold on. Do you have 1,000 bottles of anything?
No.
Do you have 100 bottles of anything?
No.
Do you have 10 bottles of anything?
Might have.
I bet I don't have.
Mountain Dew or something downstairs.
Right. I mean, that's the thing is I don't know that I have like that weird predilection. Like you start getting a view into people's shit when they're like, we found 1,000 of whatever guns or fucking dolls.
We have a warehouse full of shit.
A fucking
supplies.
We found 1,000 pairs of panties. We found 1,000 fucking guitars. Like whatever it is, if you're that into it, okay, you're like a federal crime probably happened.
Right, and they said like he faces up to 15 to life in prison.
That sounds, dude, the fucking trafficking shit. He's not getting out of that. Like that's again.
Well, Lee, some of these rumors are fucking crazy. I don't know if you've heard some of the rumors of this. And again, these are rumors that I've just heard. These are not mine by any means. Like so, some of the accusations are that he was responsible for killing Biggie Smalls, Kim Porter, and even Brittany Murphy. And this one's wild too. Like I don't know if you heard Jamie Foxx. Talking about how he was, remember how he was like deathly sick, like over the I don't know how long ago that was, but
a year or two ago. Yeah,
claims are that he was poisoned by him.
Did he?
Yeah.
So Jamie Foxx shot his comedy special this week, and in the middle of his comedy special, he said, "I am the one who called the FBI on Diddy because he poisoned me. That's the reason I went to the hospital. That's the reason why he almost died, is because Diddy poisoned Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx brought down Diddy."
See, that's the shit. Like, why? So I get the sex trafficking. I get the gang shit, right? Like the Biggie Smalls, like the whatever. Like I get that shit. I get the rivalry in rap, Kim Porter, whatever. Like. But beyond that, all right, we're stretching. Like, seriously, he's going to kill Jamie Foxx? Like,
I don't know. Like, well, I guess some of the people that have like tried to call him out on shit, like how he's maybe gay or that he's.
I did read a thing. I did read a thing where some dude was like, "Yeah, I was at his white party and he like whip your dick out, let me suck it."
Yeah.
Like, but also like. I don't know that part where it starts stretching into shit that like doesn't really make sense. Maybe it's true. And maybe like, I don't want to discount it and say, oh, that could have never happened. Like the nuttiest shit that they talk about with Epstein. You're like, I don't know about that, but sort of like the 9/11 shit. Like if the top 1% is true, that's enough. Like that's enough,
right?
Like if it's the top 1%, you're like, okay, forget the nutty shit. Like, what about the shit where he had a party every year where he flew in a bunch of girls? Like,
right.
Okay, like that's probably enough, right?
Yeah.
Forget about gay shit and forget about murdering people and whatever. Like he had parties where he flew in girls who were underage and they fucked everybody at the party and he paid them. Like that's a thing. That's called trafficking. That's like that's probably enough. So how nutty it gets, I don't know. Like the dude clearly lived a life that is outside of sort of what most of us live. Oh, I do think it's weird that we're revisiting things 20 years later.
Yeah, well, that started 20 years.
Maybe he's continually doing it. But like we are in a weird spot where it's like, Bill Cosby got thrown in prison for shit that he did in the 80s. He didn't get caught in the 80s. He got thrown in prison for shit he did in the 80s.
Well, he had gone back to the 70s, I guess. But then the last one was right within the
statute of limited. That's what I'm saying. Is like, but that's the thing is like, and the shit about Trump, like the shit he got convicted for was not Stormy Daniels in 2000 or whatever. It was some lady in the fucking early 90s. Like we are in a weird spot where it's like, oh, you did this thing 25 years ago and that's what's going to hang you. I'm not saying it's not righteous. It's just weird. Just weird.
All right. So what I want to do, Lee, this is one of my favorite things that I do with you each year. And this is the Slang Words for 2024. And what I did this year, Lee, is we did something a little different this year. I got Zoe.
Oh, man, this is firsthand fucking slang. Okay, this isn't fucking internet slang. This is real.
No.
This is off the street. That's what I'm saying. This is off the street shit. This is real.
Yeah. So basically, what I did was I looked up all these words, right, and then I asked Zoe what these words meant, and so she's going to give the definition after you take a guess. So
I love it. Okay.
All right. So you ready? Okay. So
this is gonna be bad.
This is gonna be awesome.
Zoe.
This is gonna be great. Are you apologizing to Zoe?
I am. I'm sorry she got dragged into this, and now she's part of our old interpretation of the world.
I'm excited to see the end of the year podcast and what you think these words mean from someone that's not from my generation.
All right, Lee. So the first one that we have on the list, and I'll spell these for you if you need some.
That's going to help me. You're going to spell them. Etymology, please. Origin of the word.
All right. So the first one we have, Lee, is finna.
Oh, I mean, that's fixing too, which we used to make fun of saying, it's fixing. It's fixing. Like that was the thing that we used to do. Like it's fixing. Now it's finna. I'm finna. Fixing too. I know that one.
All right. Zoe?
It's like I'm gonna go to the store and grab some food. It's just a shorter way to say it.
Let's stop right there. I got that one right. I know I got that one right.
I'm finna grab some food. All right. Okay. Riz.
It's this fucking beard. It's this fucking the shit. It's.
Well, let's see what Zoe says.
I mean, she's not gonna point at me and go Riz, but it would actually be kind of creepy if she did. But she gets that I get what it's supposed to mean, right? And then she laughs and goes, "Haha, I understand that you think you know what it means and you're old."
All right,
but I think I'll take credit for that one.
All right, Zoe.
It's charisma is what it's short for. Someone is like talking to a bunch of girls at one time, like a guy. It's like, oh, like that kid has Riz. Like, look at that Riz. Like, that's how the best way I can explain it.
All right. You're doing pretty good, Lee.
I mean, 2 for 2.
Okay. Sigma. Sigma.
Can I hear it in a sentence?
I could spell it for you.
Look, I know what Sigma means in the fucking rest of the world,
yeah,
but
we're talking
talking slang. Sigma. Yo, fuck. Do I get a clue? Can I ask for a clue, or to be used in a sentence?
I could spell it for you.
Well, is it Sigma? Sigma, like the fucking Sigma. Yes. I fucking have no idea. I really have no idea.
All right. Okay.
What that is for slang.
Okay, Zoe.
It was a whole thing that started like off of TikTok. Like, people would just say it, and then it would be like, oh, like, you're Sigma for that. Like, I can't use that, though. I like, it hurts me inside.
So it's used to describe someone who is independent, self-reliant, and often going against social norms. The example is, he's a Sigma male who doesn't follow the crowd.
That's an alpha. That's you people have fucked the fucking Greek system up. That's an alpha person. That's not Sigma. You're making shit up just to be, like, different.
Sigma? Isn't that what all these are?
Well, except there's a word for that. It's alpha. That's a fucking dominant person who does their own shit. It's alpha. The alpha is the word. You fucking fucks. You fucking young people have been like, but I don't like alpha. Let's make it something different. Sigma. Sigma isn't what that is. You guys have fucked it up. Zoe, you fucked it up. That's not what
Zoe
Sigma
came
means.
up with it? Zoe came up with it? All right, how about this one, Lee? How about this one? 8. A-T-E. 8.
And slang. This is slang.
This is slang. This is not the normal 8. What is this in slang, Lee?
Probably like hate or something. 8. No, I don't fucking know. I fucking know.
I don't know. Let's go to Zoe. Zoe?
You ate that up. Like, you're alpha 8. I use that every day. Like, not like you ate your food, but like, you're alpha 8. Like, it means like you did, like, it looks good. Like, you ate that up.
To describe someone who performed exceptionally well.
I mean, look, it's like owned.
Yeah.
She owned it. All right. I mean, it's weird, but okay.
Okay, I don't know if
it's kind of a lazy one, but okay, fine.
All right, you ready for this one? And
I don't know.
I think she laughed at the way I pronounced this. So, Gyatt. Gyatt. G-Y-A-T-T. Gyatt.
Gat?
Gat? Is it gat?
Gat.
See, this is just making us sound old right now, right?
Oh, dude, of course. No, this is fucking, we don't know what we're talking about. Fucking got? I don't know. Fucking, I have no idea.
Zoe, what does gayat mean?
Gyat? It's to talk about someone's ass. So it's like someone that has a fat ass. So it's like if they're walking down the street, like, holy gyat, they have a gyat. Like, it's just like, if you see someone, like, usually for us, like, it'll be a joke. So it's like you see someone bend over, like a teacher or something, you'd be like, gyat, like, as a joke. It's just to describe someone's ass. Because, like, I'll be like, oh my god, what are you wearing? Like, oh my god.
God.
Is that like an acronym for some fucking thing on the internet? Like GYAT, like get your ass to, I don't know, whatever. Like, because if it's an acronym.
Doesn't it sound like it's just like got?
Gat. Maybe it's like an exclamation, like gat.
I don't know.
Like,
some of these I might cut, so don't.
No, I mean, it might be like, you know, ugh or something.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Ugh is a fucking nothing word, except it means ugh.
Right. Okay.
Maybe gat is just the.
All right. Glow up. Glow up.
Probably like a makeover or something. I don't know. Like a fucking, hey, let's glow you up. Let's fucking give you a makeover.
Like, if you were really ugly, like, and you just looked horrendous, and then, like, you just, like, no one saw you for months, and you just turn up, and you're, like, beautiful, and you're, like, really cute, like, oh, they had a glow up. It's like someone in high school that you're, like, you're Facebook friends with, and you don't look at their Facebook for years after high school, and you see them like, oh, they had a glow up. Or it's like, you can also use glow down. You could be really cute in high school, and then be really ugly now, and you're like, oh, they had a glow down. Like, no.
I like that one. That one makes sense. I'm all for logic.
How about this one, Lee? Meal. MEAL. Meal.
I mean, because it's slang, I'm going to go ahead and say, like, satisfying.
Oh, they were a total snack. And I just be like, oh yeah, like, oh, they're hot now.
Someone who looks exceptionally attractive, so much so that they are good enough to eat up.
All right. Okay. Hey, look, I get that. Like, you make that connection. All right.
Did you see Alex at the party last night? Total meal.
Hey, look, I get that. I get that.
Right.
Like, I've
like
definitely seen some ladies in my life that made my mouth water. Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. How about snack?
Probably that.
Yeah.
Snack's just kind of like, oh, like, they're looking like a snack. Like, they look yummy in a way. That's what I say. Like, I'll be like, oh, you look yummy today.
Thanks for teeing that up for me. I needed a win. I appreciate the tee up.
Okay. All right. How about zaddy?
Isn't that a stylish older man? Somebody who's, and I only know this because Jewel is watching some fashion shit or a comedy thing or something. She's just like, you're a zaddy. And I was like, what the fuck is that? And Jewel knew. She's like, it's a fashion older, like an older man who is into fashion. Like a good looking, well-dressed older man.
It's almost like saying, like, it's like DILFs are like, or like MILFs and DILFs are, it's like another version of DILFs, I would say.
That new professor is a total zaddy.
I thought that fashion was part of it, but clearly it isn't.
No, you
so
you fucking nailed it, dude. You said you got the two key words: stylish and older man.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying clutch t-shirts are stylish. I don't know that fits in the fucking zaddy category. I'm just going to roll with it.
Chad.
Is that like a Karen thing? Like a dude who's just sort of like a Chad? It's a guess. I don't fucking know.
Zoe, what is Chad?
That was just kind of used to explain like a white guy, blonde hair, blue eyes, like just kind of like guys that always have a bunch of girls around them, like kind of a dick, but he always has girls.
So Chad, stereotypically a confident, attractive, and socially successful male, often perceived as shallow or arrogant.
A Chad.
C-H-A.
So it's kind of I get that it's the same aesthetic as a Karen.
Yeah,
like
I guess so.
A certain haircut and kind of a false arrogance and whatever. I don't know how they arrived at Chad or Karen.
Yeah.
But okay.
All right. So last but not least, this is probably out of all these is probably my favorite one. And it's kind of like a little phrase one, but so this one is just put the fries in the bag. Just put the fries in the bag.
Shut up and let me leave here.
Zoe?
Put the fries in the freaking bag, bro! Like, someone's being annoying or something, bragging about something or talking too much, just put the fries in the bag. Put it away and stop using it. Just like a nice way of saying, like, shut the fuck up. Like, honestly.
Yeah, just let me leave. I don't want a conversation. Just fucking put the fries in the bag.
Shut up and stop talking. You're rambling too long. Just put the fucking fries in the bag.
I love it. Okay. This one I love. That one, again, logic. That makes sense to me.
Is that one awesome?
Just put the fries in the bag, bro. Just let me, I don't need a conversation. I just want the fucking food. Just let me leave.
Special thanks to Zoe for helping us on that one there. Because, I mean, what is better than having a 16-year-old help us with the terms of...
I'll be honest, I'd feel better if she was 18 because this is, I curse a lot. but okay. I appreciate the youth engagement.
All right, Lee. So we got to do it. The predictions for 2024. I mean, they're not going to be anything too crazy, I don't think, but I don't know. If you can think of any more predictions, by the way, let me know, but we're just going to do a few here. Lee, will the Mariners make the playoffs
No.
That might have been the fastest response I've ever gotten from you.
No, look, I got fooled for a minute. I got fooled. They made the playoffs 2 years ago, and I was like, fuck.
You were traveling across the country.
We have the best. We have the best pitching staff in baseball. We really do. We have the best pitching staff. We got the best catcher in baseball. We've got some tools. And then I realized that they don't give a shit. Not the players, the fucking ownership. They don't care, and they don't want to win. They don't give a fuck. Until that changes, and it shows when ownership cares, because the fucking Dodgers have spent $1 trillion, and guess who won the fucking World Series? The Mariners are one of the richest cities in the fucking world, and they will not win because they don't care about winning. They care about making $200 million a year profit. So no, they will not make the playoffs. They will lose Kyle Raleigh this year. They will lose Kyle Raleigh either in the winter meetings in the offseason this year or by the trade deadline in July. They'll lose Kyle Raleigh. Probably will lose one or two of our pitchers, Gilbert or Kirby. We're going to dismantle and go back to being the fucking you got to love these guys people, because we already have Dan Wilson as the manager and fucking Edgar Martinez as the batting coach and Kevin Seitzer or Edgar Martinez as the extra special fucking batting whatever and Kevin Seitzer as the batting. We're not going to win.
Okay, that was the longest. No.
Because I love the Mariners. I bleed Mariner blue. I just want them to win, but they're not making the playoffs. Anyway.
All right. I'm sorry to bring that up, man. You never know. You never know in sports, though. You never know. But
we kind of know. We kind of know.
All I know is that the first month and a half is going to be fantastic. It's going to be great.
Actually, probably not the first month and a half, the first 4 games. And we're like, hey, this team's looking pretty good. And then they'll tank 25 games and they'll be back 10 games. And then they'll win a bunch in fucking June and July. And we're like, hey, this team has a shot. And then they'll finish 2 games out of fucking playoff contention.
All right. So we have some political stuff here just because that's always.
Thankfully, though, 25 is an off year for everything.
That's true. So basically, just because I was reading some prediction stuff, so I'll just go with some of these. Will the economy end up improving with Trump's tariffs in Mexico, Canada, and China?
No chance, because we've been riding $20 trillion of free money that's already evaporating, and it doesn't matter what policies he.
So you're just talking in general.
In general, the economy doesn't swing that quickly. Where when he gets in, it'll have a massive impact for people. It will definitely have an impact.
Will cost of living at least go down?
No, no.
Oh.
We are lucky that we didn't get more inflation than we got. They printed 5 times the amount of money that was ever in the economy in 2020 under Trump. So don't fucking say Biden did this. You're fucking retarded. He printed it in 2020. That will live for generations. That $20 trillion. No, the economy is on a false fucking bed of fake money that's going to fucking come crashing down at some point. I hope not hard. it will happen under Trump because that's how math works. His policies will probably also make trade worse and some other things, but it'll also make some other things better, some taxation and some small business incentives and some other stuff. But no, you can't get away from printing 5 times the amount of money that's ever been in the economy and just walk away from it like nothing happened.
Well, what's the biggest thing that you look forward to in 2025? Anything in particular?
Not being an election year.
Oh, isn't that going to be amazing?
It just, man, and if we're being sort of morbid about it, the show, right? This will be a show. This is going to be a show. This is going to be a fucking show.
Oh yeah.
Like
it'll definitely be a show
with Elon Musk and fucking Kash Patel and he's going to go after people. He's going to try, right? And they have the House and the Senate and the fucking Supreme Court.
Oh yeah, they have everything.
Right?
Backing him.
It's it's gonna be a show.
It's also gonna be they have no excuses for anything like previously.
That's what's
zero
interesting,
excuses.
dude. That's what's interesting when people complain about somebody else ruining their shit for them. When you finally shine the light on them and say, "Okay, we cleared the lane for you," and then shit goes wrong, they have nobody to blame. And inevitably, about half the shit that they were complaining about, kind of on them. So. I don't know. Like, it's going to be a fun show. It really will. Like, we've never seen something like this.
That's for sure. That's for sure. Do you think they're going to be able to? I'm just so curious about this. Do you think they're going to be able to deport millions of immigrants?
Yes. Yeah, they absolutely. We have the laws to do it. And honestly, I'm a person that believes in immigration because Americans don't want to work. And so we need to have people who want to come here with hunger and desire to work and make their lives better. I'm for legal immigration, but through a process. I'm not a fan of selective prosecution of laws. You need to either prosecute the law as it's written or change the law. We've been stuck in a space where people are like, yeah, we see that law in the book, but we're not going to fucking enforce it. You can't do that. That's a fucking horrible way to do things. We have laws on the books. They will be prosecuting them. They will be enforcing them. We're going to deport tons of people, and then we're going to see the economic consequence of that, which is, holy fuck, Americans don't want to actually do that work.
Should be interesting to see.
Half of our guys are probably going to have to leave, not because they're illegal, but because people in their family are. It's not just the people doing the work. It's their wives. So, like, you want to deport the people who want to fucking do the actual work that you don't want to do, you're going to see some fucking shit shut down.
Well, Lee, let's not end it on that note.
Yeah, how'd you end it? I mean, you ended on politics?
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Are the Seahawks going to win the Super Bowl?
No, they're going to win the NFC West, and I'm pretty happy with that, honestly. Like, that's a win. Like, we have a good defense. Getting to be a good defense. Getting to be kind of like, we're getting there. Like, he's sorting things out. I like what he's doing. But I really love what Dan Campbell's doing. I'm a Detroit Lions fan right now. I love that dude. I love what he's doing. I love that
they have a lot of people rooting for them this year.
And it's Detroit. Everybody roots for Detroit because Detroit got their asses kicked.
Rich Falls doesn't root for Detroit.
Rich Falls is a Chicago dude. So, I mean,
that's true. Let's do what we did last year and just like, hey, let's make our biggest accomplishment for next year to not die. How about that? Is that possible?
I mean, I'm going to say that is an inherent, let's roll that into every year, but let's be more ambitious.
Okay.
So every year, let's try not to die.
Okay.
That's a standing rule.
Okay. All right.
What
else we got?
I want a different goal. And you can choose whatever it is.
Yeah, sure.
For me, it's a professional goal of making the same amount of money for our company, not just me personally. I want to net the same amount of money that we made this year while doing 40% less revenue, which means we get better at doing our jobs.
Do you think that will happen?
Yeah, I do think it'll happen, but I don't know how yet. I think we can get better at doing what we're doing and make the same money doing less work. That's my goal. That's my goal, is to take 40% less revenue and turn it into the same fucking net. I believe I can do it.
I mean, the these upcoming generations, they are harder workers than ever, and without those immigrants, you guys are gonna be doing well.
Did I tell you what our average age is at our company?
No, it was like in the 45.
It was like 43. Like the average age of the company. Yeah, that's really, really bad news for America.
For the worst kind of construction.
The worst kind of construction. So imagine the soft construction. It's got to be in the 50s.
Oh man. All right.
Anyway, so aside from not dying, then you got to pick a second one.
I had a couple of ideas of like, and it's funny because this year I haven't done a lot of my Goodwill or thrifting.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Like journeys as much as I had normally been doing. But I really like seeing these videos of like the kind of ridiculous shit you see at those places.
Yeah.
And I've toyed around with the idea of filming, like walking into some of these places and showing some of the fucking shit that these people try to sell.
I love it.
And how much they try to sell it for. So, or, finding like a really cool find and then documenting that.
All right.
So
see, that's it.
Nothing crazy, but just kind of
funny. But I appreciate that because I put you on the spot and you're like, no, I do have an idea of what it is. I do have an idea.
Yeah,
of what I want to make.
I wasn't. It was kind of like, should I do this? I don't know if I should, but I don't know.
That's what goals are, though.
We'll see.
Like goals,
that's
goals
not really
are not.
Goal, though. A goal would be something that I absolutely want to do, and I'm going to do it. And
all right.
I want to accomplish that, but this is kind of like, I don't know. Like, should I do this? Should I do it, Lee? Should I do it?
I mean, I guess that's the definition.
Try it out. It doesn't hurt, right?
For what is a goal? Is a goal a thing that you have totally fleshed out and like you got the steps, or is a goal like, you know what?
Well, I think that's just an idea, right? Isn't that kind of like an idea?
Well, I mean, like,
a goal is something you want to like.
We're not single, but like a goal could be, I kind of want to fuck that bubble butted redhead in the fucking warehouse. Like, you don't have all the steps, but that could still be a goal, right? I mean, we're not single, so I can't say that. I'm just saying that could be a goal. You don't have to know how you're going to get there.
All I can think about is Mad Men now. Like,
me either. That's a perfect example. She was bubble butted redhead. She was so gorgeous. Man, anyway. I'm just saying, you don't have to have all the steps.
Happy New Year, Lee. Hope your New Year is filled with bubble butts and big reds.
I mean, that would be, look, if I were single, great. For this year, let's hope that my relationship and everything stays stable. Right?
All right. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, happy 25. I don't know.
For Lee Olson, I'm Josh. Happy New Year. And as always, thank you for being a friend.
I hope everyone has a good New Year's, and I hope everyone's 2025 is even better than 2024. Mwah!